In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
On it this time.
We're back.
On it this time. I think we were just blabbing last week.
Are you saving it?
No.
Oh.
I missed the cue there.
Yeah, you can just do it any time. That's the fashionably late care we call it.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. That's
I'll
right.
pull your mic just a little bit closer. There you go. You'll find the sweet spot.
Okay.
But if we do that, that's just, it's easy like it.
Sound good?
Yeah, perfect. There it is.
Sexy.
There
Sexy
it is.
voice.
There it is.
We had a little snafu for people that are watching on YouTube. Our TV fell off the wall when we came into the studio today, and it was just on the ground, and there's wood all over the place. I actually patched up a couple of the pieces back up there.
Yeah.
So for the YouTube listeners, sorry, you're just gonna have to. We might do something to add some video, add some of the pictures in there. I'm gonna have to do something. You can still
see our ugly mugs and Oliver and Gabby, our lovely Gabby here. But yeah, the TV. Video imagery is, we're going to have to We're under maintenance.
We're under maintenance, yeah. And I will say, always go to the stud when you're putting the TV up.
The old Donatello.
Yeah.
We're going to have to give him a ring.
Yeah.
Old Don Magic Wand.
Yeah.
Our maintenance guy put that up.
It lasted a while, though.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, actually, because there's been some earthquakes. Like, there was, like, 3 in a row, right? Like, 3 days, like, almost 3 days. Like, every other day there was a big one.
Must have just loosened it up.
Yep, loosened it up, and that was it.
This old building, it gets a little shifty, especially when, it gets cold and things freeze up. All those earthquakes, I had never felt the one, though.
Never felt any
No,
of them?
I don't know if I was driving or, like, doing something.
And I feel them
every
at
time.
my house at turn again.
I mean, weren't they all during the middle of the day?
One was I was in the bottom of the Egan Center at that conference. Yo, everyone was panicked because like when the big one was in 2018, we had the same. It was the same date, the same time we were all at the Sheraton, and it was like just crazy. So everyone's just like again, like half the people like jumped out of their chairs like to get out of the Egan Center. Me too. I was like, I'm not staying here. Like I'm not gonna be buried under this place.
Wow, that's what a crazy coincidence.
It was literally the same day.
Yeah, it's a Friday, right?
Yeah, it was a Friday.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 18 was a shaker.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest one I can remember living here in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just had one in Fairbanks, and we were having like an exercise, and everyone kind of was joking around, like, "Did you guys organize this? Is this part of the exercise?" Because the whole building started shaking. And we're like,
wow.
like in the middle of an exercise, and everybody's like, "Oh, what was that?"
That was not planned.
No, it was not planned, but we'll take credit for it.
Man, they're getting good with these
timing
exercises.
Yeah. Threw a little wrinkle in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but they're not funny. They're scary. I don't do.
Yeah, when
freak me to my
when
core,
that big
man.
one came, I had a caribou up on my fireplace. We don't have a caribou in here. I came home and obviously it's on the, but my dog is just like like gnawing on the skull. Remy, dude, she like ate half the thing. Homeboy was able to like fix it somehow. He's retired now, but
Greggy?
yeah, old Greggy out there.
Yeah.
I think he's retired.
He's still got his sign out in front of his.
He does good work, man. He fixed that thing from
What was
the
the name of
earthquake.
his? What's the name of his deal?
Snowy Mountain.
Snowy Mountain.
Snowy Mountain.
Yeah, taxidermist. Old Glen Highway, the Butte.
Yeah, man.
Y'all been to the Butte before?
You're missing out.
Like the mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, off the old Glen.
Yes.
Yeah. Right past the meth station there.
Oliver, you never fished Jim Creek, bro?
No.
Oh, dude. What?
And just
Man.
everybody tagging it on it.
I thought you were one of the greatest fishermen I've ever seen, but
Yeah.
you haven't fished Jim Creek. Not quite to that level yet.
Yeah. All right. Show's over.
Have you ever fished out
I
for
have
salmon?
fished Jim Creek, and I've got silvers out of there before.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
such a unique fishery, the way you fish it.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I've fished. I fish where I walk back behind. Like, have you guys been back there at all?
No.
You never been back there? Like, okay, so it's a big
Connect River,
it's a big
Connect Glacier.
ATV riding place. Like you go back there and ride to the glacier and stuff like that. And so there's like always tons of people riding back there. But when it's the silvers are in, there's a bunch of people fishing. Okay. And there's like a main area that goes like in the middle of where everyone's riding, which is crazy. And that's like really the tide determines like where people are standing and stuff.
It's real silty
But I always went past cross Jim Creek and then that first little like sand dune up there, like back behind there where it's more like riverish.
Yeah, where it actually starts heading up to the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we've pulled some out of there.
Yeah, it's just like all spring and summer. It's like a spot you cross Jim Creek, with your ATVs or 4-wheelers to run the Kinnick Valley up into the basic headwaters of the river and where the glacier starts. And it's just it's weird that you in August you can go out there 6 a.m. or whatever and you can catch silvers in a creek you're otherwise like ATVing through all the time.
Is it like real silty or is it
Very,
clear?
very,
Okay.
Yeah, it's real
very
silty.
silty.
Okay.
It's like almost impossible to see the fish.
Okay.
But I've never fished it like past the dunes and like up toward the lake.
Me either, only right behind the dunes.
Yeah. So it's just always kind of like funny to me. I used to die hard it, and I haven't fished it in probably a decade now. It's shoulder to shoulder, and it's just kind of like.
Yeah, I mean.
But the locals that live out there, they're 5 minutes away. They can run their side by side from their house and go get a limit of silvers and throw them on the smoker that night. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they'll just camp out there. I mean, there's nothing secret about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Well, I mean, you can go like in the morning and go fish and then jump on your wheeler and go to the glacier later in the afternoon and come back and grab another shift and call a day. It's actually kind of a cool
a really cool thing
activity.
about going a ride there is once you get to a certain part and you're close to that mountain, the sheep from that mountain come all the way down and they're like on the trail.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So you'll be riding, there's like, oh shit, there's a sheep right there, and there's be like a whole bunch of sheep, and sometimes they're literally like right on the trail.
Yeah, they will.
And sometimes they'll be right up close. Yeah, yeah, you see a lot of wildlife there, bears and moose.
It's like a just south-facing like rock point, Wolf Rock.
Yeah,
it comes right off the mountain, off that'd be the Chugach Range, I guess, right? Yeah, that'll still be the Chugach Range. On the backside anyway, and it's just like a sunbathing, like grazing area for the sheep, and they're not shy to the ATVs, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's like they're used to it.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out, Gabby.
Yeah, you guys,
awesome.
yeah, if you guys got ATVs, you should go for a ride.
How far of a walk is it? We don't.
A walk?
Oh, you could walk in there for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you could drive your truck in there.
Oh yeah,
actually,
you got your Yoda out there. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you can rally that thing back there easy, dude.
Jacked up taco or what?
It's not. No,
You don't even have
it's
to
not.
be jacked
No,
up.
it's not.
Well, I mean, I just assumed. Sorry. That's what I tell you, guys. Toyota guy from Fairbanks for sure. Yeah, lift on that thing.
Like we just rally it anyways. Just
That's what they're built for.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, you can if the water's not too high, you can actually drive your truck in there. And Toyotas are perfect because the trail gets a little tight.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, you can take it all the way to the glacier.
I mean, guys with stock pickups will drive back there all the time. And you just got to clean the silt and stuff out of there. But that'd be the move if you're just going to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back
Drive
there and
truck
just
back there.
drop the tailgate and
Nice.
drop some roe in there and fish. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Alaska Wild Project, episode number 92. In the house we have, I'm going to mess this up, Oliver Ancans.
That's right.
Yeah. And Gabby Mordini.
Yep.
Thanks for coming. On Instagram, before I announce what your Instagram thing is, because everyone has to check out Oliver's page, I have dubbed it in my personal book as the #1 fishing page to look at. As far as the beauty of the pictures and the size of the fish that you catch and the places that you're at, I think that it's #1.
Thanks, man.
I think it's #1.
Thank you.
There's some other good
Saying
ones
a
out
lot,
there,
dude.
Yeah.
but in my personal book, and if you're into looking at really, really cool pictures, what's cool is it's not just like a certain species or a certain river or a certain time of year. You like kind of hit the whole like Alaska spectrum, I want to say.
And chasing stuff all year, you have to.
Yeah. So my first question is, are you Canadian?
No. Michigan.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
one of them, Youpers?
Okay, because your handle is
No?
Ollieh. OLLEYAAH.
I think you're the first person to actually guess that, like Canadian or somewhere.
Okay,
around
so
there,
they talk like that in Michigan too. They say A
in the
like
UP.
In the UP, oh,
Some
the
guys will
UP,
say
of
A and
course,
So I
and
said
up.
the Youpers? Is that
Youpers?
the
Yeah, the
peninsula,
Youpers.
right?
Yeah, the Youpers, and the trolls are all below the bridge there. So
Oh. Well, it's like a Midwest accent almost kind of.
Well, it's super Canadian. I mean, playing with hockey guys and people that play hockey and a lot of Canadians and watching hockey, like A is like the Canadian.
Yeah, because you get it up in the Dakotas and stuff too, right?
up in the northern Midwest. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know if like a accent is really, maybe that's like a little overboard, but there's just there's a kind of like a twang to it. There's like you can hear it.
It says like it's real, like the A for someone that like grew up saying it, it's real natural. Like and it just kind of flows and like you don't think anything of it. But if someone like in the lower part of Michigan says it, you're kind of like, that was weird.
Okay.
They didn't see it right. It's like when you first learn to cuss.
Yeah.
You're saying it wrong. This kid's brand new.
Oh, he doesn't. He just started cussing.
Yeah. You shit fucker. And I was like, what? What does that even mean?
No, you didn't really say that right. Yeah, man. The quality of the fish.
Amazing. And we would show you guys all on the TV right now, but it fell down. But we'll post some up. If you want to see it, and if you're listening to this, please go to our Instagram page. We're going to be posting a bunch of the pictures up there. We've already shared a bunch of your stuff on our stories, but when the show comes out, we'll share a bunch more so you guys can check it out at our Instagram. And definitely check out Oliver at his Instagram, Ollie, AOLLEYEH, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oliver, do you go by Ollie? Like
Sometimes.
for short or like a nickname?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of Oliver, Ollie, either one.
Gabby, do you call him Ollie?
No.
No. Just
So
full
I was
name?
like, no, he doesn't go by that.
Okay.
But people see his Instagram and they're like,
Does anyone call you Ollie in your family?
Not in my family, no. A couple buddies do, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dad calls me Danny, which I hate if anyone else calls me Danny, but he calls me Dan. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm never calling you that.
Dan is the worst. Like, don't call me Dan. If you call me Dan, only person that can call me Dan is Liska.
Oh, Dan?
Yeah, he calls me Dan like
Dan.
forever. Cody.
Scruffy
You guys
boy.
know Cody? From Crude Mag. He's a cool dude.
Well, he
Big
does call you
snowboarder
Dan.
guy. He calls me Dan.
He says it so matter of fact that it's like,
I know,
kinda
like I
you
can't even
say-
correct him, dude. It's
No.
just says it. I'm like, okay, that's me.
He's the one that gets it.
Yeah, like, all right, you got it, man. You get that. Everyone else I correct. I'm like, no, it's Daniel. Let's start with some of the history. Like, you're in the Air Force, right? That's what brought you here?
Yep.
Directly from Michigan. Is this your first tour or, your first, how many years in the Air Force are you?
So I've been in for 9 years. My first duty station was New Jersey, and I was there for about 18 months. So I enlisted in Michigan and then went to basic training in San Antonio, and then from there just New Jersey, and sat there for 18 months. And it was fun. I mean, the outdoor opportunities in New Jersey are, like, you don't really think of it as like an outdoor place, but they had some pretty good fishing. I mean, I caught like one of the biggest brown trout I've ever caught.
Oh, really?
In New Jersey. Yeah, it was kind of really funky. It was a stocked fish, but it was still like cool.
Yeah.
It was a big fish.
Big monster?
Yeah, it was cool. And
Those
then,
fight good too, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was kind of a weird thing. I was actually fishing in a place I wasn't really, it was like owned by like this fishing club. So I wasn't supposed to be there, but
Okay.
all they would do is kick you out. So I'd go in there and fish for a while, and then they'd kick me out. And then,
Oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, man.
yeah,
See
they're
this
like, "You
beautiful
were-"
trout? Okay, bye, guys.
Yeah, like, you were here last week. I'm like, oh.
You're at Chuck E. Cheese, but you don't have kids.
Yeah, that's a little different. But yeah, so I spent 18 months there, and then got orders to Alaska. And
Was that choice number one? Did you have a choice?
Oh,
like you get
yeah.
to choose like what the...
so we get like this in the Air Force. We get like this dream sheet, and you can put like 10 overseas bases or something. And it was like you can put like 10 overseas bases and 10 stateside bases. And Alaska is technically considered an overseas base.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And they had like 8 options for Alaska. It was like Alaska All, Alaska General, Alaska Remote, Alaska Fairbanks, Anchorage. Like every Alaska option, I put it on my dream sheet, and that was all I had on there. That was it.
Oh,
like,
so you're going to Alaska.
get
I
me
was like,
there.
I want to go to Alaska, and then they sent me to New Jersey, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. What? Yeah.
Not even close, man.
No, not even close. But New Jersey was fun. I mean, we take the train up from the base there, and take the train up and go to hockey games and stuff in New York, and go hang out at the bars, and it was a great time.
Get some city life.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, as much as I can handle, which isn't a lot, but you know,
small
every once in a
slivers.
while. Yeah, a little bit, and then make some runs up to Maine and fish in New York, and it was a great time. But Alaska's, my opinion, Alaska's
The best.
100 times better. Yeah, the best.
Yeah, you can say it. We're the best.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were doing the like New York, Maine stuff, were you fishing like the my buddy John lives out there. Man, they catch huge king salmon runs and stuff that are, I think they're like hatchery styles. They're going to the lakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Great Lakes all get like the kings and cohos, and then they get some Atlantics like up in like the Sioux Falls area in Michigan, like way up north, and but they don't get like chums, and they get some pinks and stuff too. But I was mostly chasing steelhead up in New York, so I love steelhead fishing.
I heard it's good fishing though.
It is. It's really good. And they, there's a big debate on whether those are steelhead or not, but it's kind of like whatever. They're big fish and they're super fun to catch. So you can call them steelhead, you can call them rainbows. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They're fun to catch. So I was mostly targeting steelhead up there though. So and then in Maine we were doing like brook trout and they were awesome.
Yeah, he mentioned just the quality of fish that were returning as far as, you catch 25, 30 pound fish all day long. I'm like, man, on fly rods, that's got to just be a ball.
Yeah, and I was actually, I fly fished, I've been fly fishing for a long time, but I was doing like center pins and spinning gear and stuff like that. And running like jigs and like spawn bags and stuff.
Just as fun, huh?
Kind of everything, a little bit of everything. So it's super fun.
Who got you into that? Who taught you that stuff?
My dad taught me. He's not a fisherman, and that's kind of like, I'll talk to him now, and then he's like, I haven't been fishing in 5 years. He's like, he just doesn't fish. He fished because I love to fish, but he introduced me to it, and I was like 3 years old, and he handed me a fly rod, and he's like, we went to this pond, and I was born in Montana, and so we went to like this hatchery pond, and this guy just had it in his backyard, and they had huge rainbows in there, like 36, 37 inch rainbows. And I remember it's like one of my first memories, like running around on shore, picking up grasshoppers and throwing them in the water and watching these giant rainbows come up and hammer them. It was so fun. And so we threw a big foam grasshopper out there, and that was like the first thing. And then we kept one and ate it for dinner. And it was like, I remember that very vividly. It was awesome. Yeah. It was super fun. So, from a young age, he got me interested in the outdoors, and then he fished because I loved it so much, and then everywhere we went, I had to fish. I was like, I have to fish.
Yeah. Man, what a cool dad, man.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I never ice fished till my son, like my oldest son is like addicted to fishing.
No.
Like addicted. So I try to take him and do stuff that, obviously I can take him to do stuff that I know to do, fly fishing and salmon fishing and trout fishing on the rivers. But he's the one that got me wanting to go ice fishing. Like I'd never done it. And he's like, well, why don't we have the stuff? Like, and he's like the kid that has his face in the hole. He doesn't care what the temperature is. Like he's trying to go.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he's homesick right now, because we were out there on Friday when it was freezing. But your dad's story like reminds me of like my son now is like wanting to do all these other things, and he has like these lists of fish that he wants to catch. Like he wants to get a red, he wants to go to this place and go get this, and go to this place and go to Hawaii when we go, he wants to get this. So I probably normally, where I'm just into like fly fishing on rivers, he wants to do all these other types of fishing, and it just got me kind of excited. So I can see your dad's point of view when you see your son or your daughter's, eyes light up with something they want to do. Like even if it's not your thing, you're going to make it your thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is rad that your dad did that. Like what he sparked in you, like a lifetime now of fishing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I can't shake it.
It's an obsession now, right?
I can't. Fully addicted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's your dad's name?
Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew Ancans.
You call him Andy?
No. I call him Dad.
I call him
Don't
Dad.
you dare.
Oh, man. So when you were growing up then in Montana, fishing there, and then when did you go to Michigan?
I was only 3 when I moved from Montana to Michigan.
Okay.
So it was like I was 3 years old, and he put a fly rod in my hand, and then we moved like that same year. So the same year I learned how to ski too, and started playing hockey. Like the next year I moved to Michigan. So
You have to play hockey.
Yeah,
I just jumped right into that Midwest lifestyle.
Yeah, it was like 3 and 4 were big years for me. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's it. You cracked the first beer then, too?
Yeah, exactly.
Caught my first 30-incher.
Yeah.
Been drinking Rainier ever since.
Yeah, Busch Light.
How was it? I wasn't growing up in Michigan, man. I mean, most folks I've ever talked to about it, they loved it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like where I grew up, it was pretty small. It was.
What's the name of the town?
Grand Rapids, but it was like like
It's
Ada.
a big hockey town, isn't it?
Yeah, Grand Rapids is big. Yeah, and I grew up in Ada and went to like Forest Hills Eastern, and when I was growing up there, it was still pretty small. Like it wasn't, we could ride our bikes wherever we wanted. Now, we go back and nobody lives there anymore. My whole family moved away. It just got like the street that I live on is crazy. I mean,
like it grew huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
populations.
There's like a Kohl's clothing outlet store right there now.
Oh,
It's crazy. I mean, there's like a giant hospital like right like a quarter mile from my house. It just got nuts, and like that all used to be trees and woods, and we used to see deer. People, see deer all the time, and you just don't see any of that stuff anymore. So it just blew up, but I mean that area was nice when I was growing up. We could ride our bikes 10 miles to go fishing.
Did you lure your dad to go ice fishing too then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he bought a boat because of me, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go bass fishing today." And it was awesome.
Oh, right on. Now I've seen these ice houses that these dudes have out there in like Michigan and Minnesota. It's next level. It's like a motorhome on ice. Did you guys eventually get to one of those?
No, we've always been real minimal, like whatever, almost like borderline what you can carry, like mostly what you can carry and drag by yourself. But those ice, I mean, it's like a cabin, it's a trailer. They're crazy, and they are on like hydraulics, and you can lower them down to the ice, and like,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're crazy. Those guys in Minnesota on like Devil's Lake, they drag them out there, and I mean, they're crazy. They're cool.
We got satellite TV and.
It almost like takes away from the experience, but at the same time I get it. Like it's cool.
Yeah. Well, if you have like a wife or kids that not into it, like, we're gonna just go and you guys can, eat chili and watch the game.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's just a different element of the experience.
I think so.
To have that like extra glamping Gucci stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a pretty cool thought of like getting up and having coffee and making bacon and eggs and then like grabbing a rod and being like, whoop.
Or hearing like they have these little line wrapped around a wheel with bells in it, and if a fish takes it, the wheel starts spinning and the bells start going.
Oh, you just wake up and
cooking breakfast and you hear the bells start
ding,
going.
ding,
I
ding.
got one. I'm gonna throw that in the pan too.
Damn.
Wow, that hasn't really like
check that
taken
out,
off
though.
here.
No, I don't know. I think they're expensive.
Is that why? But I'm surprised I haven't even seen one. Have you seen one anywhere? You seen
Those
one?
big giant ones? Have you seen those? I haven't seen them.
Or even like a nice,
like
nice
little ones on Lake
Okay.
Louise, I feel.
Like like the plywood shacks with the heaters and
Okay.
wood stoves or whatever. Yeah, those are all over.
Yeah,
So,
I would say they were shacks.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
be like their highest level of.
yeah.
I would think that
cabin,
if
no
someone
way.
started selling that shit, like people would buy it.
I think so.
Yeah,
the fancy
are
fancy
kits, there are kits and things that guys can do, but I think it's just like getting them out there and
Yeah.
it'd be pretty die hard.
Well, I
If you
debated
haul a house
like,
out on Lake Louise, you're going to go there like every weekend and
yeah, but like,
fish
why
it,
buy
you
the
know?
cabin when you just get the nice thing and you can be on the lake? Like, how many days are you allowed to stay the night on the lake?
I mean,
Is there a rule for that?
I don't think so. I mean, there's
No.
You know what I
guys
mean?
leave
Because
their
like
shacks
certain
out all winter.
campgrounds, you get like 5 days, and you have to like move.
you can leave that thing out there all winter.
Yeah.
Is that what they do out in Michigan? Like people just like set up for the
I don't
winter?
know about that, yeah.
I don't know about in Michigan. I mean, I assume so. I know they do it here.
Yeah, to haul out a big ass like
I think I just solved the
facility
homeless
on the
problem.
lake.
Well, a lot of the problem with Michigan is you're not
Kinda dirty.
You're not driving on the lakes in Michigan, generally speaking. Like you can't drive out there. You can't take your truck out
Because
there.
it's not thick enough?
No, you will. I mean, we'll get like 6 to 8 inches of ice, but I'm not driving. I mean, you technically can drive your truck on 8 inches.
So they're dragging these things with the snow. They call it snow go there, right?
Snowmobile.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, snowmobile. Yeah, but
Yeah,
some guys,
how do they
they'll
get
drag
them
them out.
How do they
there.
drag them out there?
Usually snow machines, snowmobiles,
snow goes.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Snow go.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
you're
it's-
right. Because we get like 18 inches of ice, and then a grader can big lake, can clean the snow off.
We're getting 4 feet in Fairbanks.
4 feet of ice?
Oh yeah.
the semis go
What?
across there.
Oh yeah, we get semi trucks on the lakes up there.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So what do you when you do the
the auger extension on those.
yeah, you got the major
Yeah.
auger extension?
I wish you guys could pull up some pictures, but
man.
we had
so do we, man.
This past spring.
Look as we look at that wall.
Yeah. This past spring we had 2 extensions on an auger, and there was a ton of overflow, and they're awesome, great, awesome pictures. But sorry, I'm gonna keep repping
Just
it.
keep talking.
I'm gonna keep repping it.
Is it on your Instagram?
I think so.
All right, I'm gonna try to scan
yeah,
for it. Well, the lady tried to sell me the extender when I bought my auger a couple years ago, and I was like,
I have one, but I've never.
I was like, what? I need to go like 6 feet for? Like this is crazy. Like I was just using the hand one yesterday. Like this is good enough.
Now, are you referring to like Harding Lake and like Birch? Like those will get to like 4 foot.
Yeah.
Thick?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, but we were on a different lake that we get a lot of overflow out there too, so it's like really hard on augers. And when you you drill down a long ways and you got to pull your auger out to clear out all the ice and snow and stuff, well, it would get wedged in there with all that slush and stuff. So we ended up grabbing an auger, and we ripped one. We were pulling on it so hard, and I was deadlifting it, just pulling it up, and I ripped the handle off. Ripped one handle off it. And we jammed some wrenches. My buddy ran back to his truck, snow machine back to his truck, grabbed some wrenches and jammed them in the holes that where the handles were. And then we took, and I was reefing on it again. I ripped the other handle off, but the throttle stayed connected. So we jammed more wrenches in the other side. So I was sitting there holding the auger, and someone had to operate the throttle. But we had 4 feet of, we were drilling through 5.5 feet of ice, and it was a ton of ice. We broke one auger. We brought 2 augers out there and broke both.
10 inches too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we need them for Lakers.
Well, I mean,
see, I knew it. I knew it. I've been trying to tell these guys, man. Everyone makes fun of my 10-incher.
No, you need.
I've been saying that didn't sound right.
Oliver's over there laughing.
No, but when I got it, I was like, I might as well get the big one. I got big goals to try to get big fish. I'm not going to get this little 6-inch one or 8-inch one. I want the hot boy.
Yeah.
The Mako 10, man. Give me the Mako 10.
Hell yeah.
You want the big hole, man. It's just nice. Yeah. You can see. It's just, I don't know, man. Clean a little extra slush out of there.
It feels so manly when I just put that thing on. I'm like, watch out, my
tail. I guess my brother has an 8-inch auger, and I got that Mako 10.
Yeah, you know what's
But I'm just thinking about 5 feet of ice, 4 feet of ice, even pulling a fish through. It's one thing to get it to the bottom of the ice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then of course there's water in the ice, but it's man, it's got to take some finesse to pull the fish through that tube, right?
It's a lot of reeling up as far as you can, and then poking, trying to maneuver the fish around with the end of your ice rod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're sticking your arm down the hole. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting your arm wet.
Oh, yeah.
When you're in ice that deep. Okay.
Yeah. Depends. If it's big lake trout or something, they come up sideways. You're like, well, all right, there's nothing you can do about it. Lake trout like to spin too, so they'll get all wrapped up and
do
crazy.
The death spin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't find the picture.
Beautiful lake trout, man. Those are one of my favorite fish to catch.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, are they so fun?
Yeah, and I imagine, and I've got an acquaintance buddy that prides himself on pretty high rate of ice fishing success. He's crosswinds Lake Louise, one of those guys that did pretty hardcore solo. Just did a badass expedition run up in Canada.
Yeah.
Man, I think he rode hundreds of miles on his snow machine, 2 trailers.
Holy smoke!
Haul it in, haul it out,
by himself. By himself.
Well, he normally goes by himself, but this particular trip, he did meet with a buddy that he became friends with in Canada that joined him.
Okay.
That didn't want to let him go by himself. He was going to go by himself, but it just sounded kind of. I mean, there's solo hunts and there's things you do solo, but that seems pretty extreme.
Yeah.
To go that far out in the bush alone. I mean, I know a lot of guys do it up in the bush and native culture and whatnot that run crazy distances solo. But anyway,
is he on the run?
What's that?
Is he on the run?
The run?
Yeah.
For lake trout.
Yeah. Anyway, he's very passionate about proper release methods on lake trout.
Yeah.
And I imagine you've had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
With that and figuring out what do's and don'ts are and Tell us a little bit about that. Like, you know, obviously, just real quick before you answer, you know, trout expend a lot of energy when they decide they're going to strike food, or maybe in your case, an artificial lure, a piece of bait or something.
Yeah.
So obviously when you put the wood to them in a fight, it's going to wear them out. Right. And so there's a high likelihood that they could die or not survive a release.
So there's a good mix of like having your drag too loose and having your drag too tight. So if your drag's too tight, you're going to bring that fish up really fast, and you're not going to be able to hang on to him because he's going to be like crazy, like
squirrely.
If you're trying to hold a 20-pound or 15-20-pound lake trout, like they're strong fish, and like if they flick their tail, you're not gonna be able to hang on to them. So having that good balance of like where your drag is set and knowing how to set your drag is like very, very important. So I set my drag, I mean, it's tight, like it's pretty tight, but if you're fishing in 100 feet of water, like that fish is going to have time to expend some energy, but not all of its energy. And in the winter, those fish have a much higher rate of like survival. And I run like exclusively like barbless hooks. Even in the winter, I take those big Kodiak custom jigs and like crush the barbs down and everything. But having that drag set right is like the first thing. Like, and anybody that uses one of my rods, I'm like, don't touch the drag. Like, don't
it's preset, leave it alone.
It's preset, don't touch it. And like, it's pretty tight though. I mean, if you like I run braid to like a fluorocarbon. And if you grab that braid and wrap it around your hand and pull on that drag, like it'll almost cut your hand. Yeah, it's tight. Yeah. Like it's tight. So, but those fish, you know, they'll pull a lot of drag and they're strong. So, you know, but the biggest thing is like, you don't want to have your drag too loose and overexert those fish.
Let them run and run and run and
exactly.
Just gas themselves out.
Yeah, exactly. And just like playing it as soon as they come up to the ice. You know, they come up to the ice. They'll come up to the ice a couple times, but you know, you want to try to land them pretty quick. Like, you know, I'm not letting a fight go on for 5 minutes. It's like a couple minutes, and they're up the ice. Take a picture, down. Like, there's no. Especially if it's cold out, like if it's below 0, we're not catching fish outside of the shack. Like, we're inside the shanty. Those fish are it's warm in the shanty. You pull the fish out, you take a picture. The bait, I mean, the lure comes out before the fish ever leave the water. Like, the fish pokes its head up, you know, through the hole. You pull the bait out, pick the fish up, take a picture, and before you can, you know, see if it was a good picture, it's already back. So, you know, we're not too particular about, like, I like a nice picture. Gabby likes a nice picture. Yeah, but those are all fast. I mean, I just
couple quick, like pop, 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 pop.
That's
and
it.
Get the best one out of that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I even took a video of myself catching a few like last weekend, and I was even shocked how fast those fish were back in the water. I was like, oh, that was fast.
Didn't seem as fast in real time, though, did it?
No, it didn't. But it was like 5 seconds. Like, I looked at the timer, and it was like 5 seconds. Like, fish is out. Here it is, down. Yeah. That's it. Like, it's back. And, like, you hang onto the tail for a minute until it kicks, and then it's good to go. Don't just shove them back down the hole. But let them kick. But if you fight it for the right amount of time, they'll kick fast. I mean, they're ready to go. You know, hardly, that'll be just the tiniest. I don't know if they have their brains probably the size of a pea or something. But
they're tiny. Yep.
Yeah, like they probably won't even remember that experience, or like that was weird, and then swim off and do whatever they want. So
go regenerate.
The less fish molesting you can do, unless you're intending on keeping it, the better.
Yeah.
That's great advice.
Good,
I didn't think about the play. I mean, you think about that when you're fishing for whatever on the river, but like that never even crossed my mind, like ice fishing.
Yeah, I always feel like there's like a sense of urgency to get it through the ice.
Yeah, like
I think the main thing is because I feel like I'm gonna lose it. Is
yeah.
number one.
It's
like at any given time, it's just like you can't see it really. Yeah. So you know.
But then it doesn't relax in your like when you want to take it out. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and like. Yeah, just not over, like finding that good middle ground of like your drag set too loose, too tight, whatever. But even like Arctic char, like the Arctic char, you know, you catch out a big lake or even quartz up in Fairbanks, like you'll try to pull them out, and you can't hang on to them because they're moving, they're strong, they're slimy. You can't grab them.
Yeah.
And you don't want to squeeze them either. You don't want to crush. You don't want to crush them. But
Yeah, they're very delicate in that state, right? In the wintertime like that.
Yeah, and especially like up through like their chest, I guess, if up by their pectoral fins, like that's where their heart is, and that's where everybody grabs them. So not squeezing that.
Yeah.
I'd squeeze the tail a lot longer, before you grab
latching onto the torso.
Yeah,
side.
don't grab onto that. Don't
Soft.
squeeze that. Yeah, and if you've ever if you squeeze it too much, you can feel the heartbeat, which is kind of funky. I don't know if you guys have ever felt a fish's heartbeat, but it's weird. I've never felt that before.
Don't think
Not
I
through.
ever
I
have.
mean, obviously when they're like, you could flay them and they got them in your hand,
Yeah.
but not like actually when you're holding them.
And it's not only happened a couple times, that every once in a while I'm like, that's the weirdest feeling ever, and you can just feel that little heart in there.
Wow.
I mean, it's funky. Yeah, it's funky. I feel we steal that all the time. Maybe that's because my heart's going so much.
Yeah.
Just connected with the fish.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes. I love fishing.
Our heartbeats are in sync.
Dun, 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 dun. How many hand ice holes do you think you've done in your life?
Hand auger?
Hand auger.
Never.
I have no idea. Me?
You never?
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Not up here
Oh, yeah.
with your
The
hand.
first
Yeah.
couple
Well, I
of
saw a
years was
picture
up
here.
here.
One.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is like, I think I did it like 4-5 times, and I was like, "Yep, we're going to go buy one."
Well, I didn't have a gas auger till I came up here, and it was like year 2. And then, so I was drilling through however much ice we had in Fairbanks.
With the hand?
Oh, yeah. It was
Like
An
a 45 minutes, just like
just grinding. just keep just going. Yeah. Going. And then you like scoop it out with your glove and you're like, am I there yet? No, I'm not. There'll be water coming up, but I really want to be there, And then you got to drill 2 next up side by side to get a lake trout up if they're only 8-inch holes. So you're like, all right, so I got to drill 2 of them, which is even better.
Yeah.
This is fun. I'm having fun.
AH.
You're not getting cold though. You know what I'm saying? You're warming up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, you're just
stay
sweating.
warm real quick. I've never ever done it.
Really?
No.
Oh, you got to, man.
I
Go
got
get one of those,
spoiled, man, with-
not shitty, but like not that good ones from Department of Fish and Game, dude, and go to
No.
Yeah.
somewhere, Jewel Lake, Sand Lake, and just get after it, dude. It'll make you be very thankful for
Before-
the gas one.
I've seen
Before
other guys do
when
it.
he picks one up, like bang it on the concrete, make those blades nice and dull for him too.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
it's
so
like a
it's-
real,
yeah.
real depiction of what ice manual ice auger is.
Do you have the
No way, dude.
when you screw in the ice ones on the house? Do you have the little hand?
Are you talking about the pig, the steaks?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, you go full hand on that.
Yeah. It's usually like in desperation, like the shack is in the process of flying away. I'm like, you put anchors in this.
You're so eager to fish that you're like, I
Oh, yeah.
won't be windy today.
Well, I think most of the time you don't need them.
Yeah. You
most
don't.
most of the time you don't need them, but when you do, you're like,
Man.
We fish a couple lakes that are like surrounded by mountains, and usually it's really calm in there. But sometimes those mountains act like a wind tunnel, so that wind will get ripping through there, and it'll take everything.
one direction,
off.
just-
Yeah, everything. Yeah, and so then we're like, we need to put some anchors down. But that's fun.
is there a specific auger that you like the best?
I have like a Jiffy Model 30 from the 80s, and that has been just my bread and butter for the longest time. But on the same trip where we ripped the handles off that other auger, we stripped the gears out on my big, that thing weighs like 45 pounds. It's super heavy.
Yeah.
But it, like, I never thought I could break it. Like, but I stripped the gears out so bad. I had one of my machinist buddies take a look at it, and he's like, I think I need to make you a new gear for it, because we just blew the gears out. But that's been my bread and butter. I just got a new electric auger, and I was super skeptical, but I mean,
So
I was
am I.
skeptical.
those things,
Is it legit?
oh yeah,
Yeah?
they're awesome.
You bought in?
Yeah, I bought in.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one on like, I don't know why it was on sale. It's like the new model of this particular brand's auger, and it was like on sale. I was like, no, I want to buy that. Yeah.
How
So
is it
give
come
it a
with like a
shot.
battery charge thing, like a DeWalt kind of style?
Yeah, it's like a 40-volt battery.
Okay.
And I mean, they're tough. Like, I was hanging on to it, and it was like twisting. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this thing's got some torque. Like,
Yeah.
it's powerful. I guess, like, the electric cars are, like, real fast, too. With those batteries, they have a lot of torque
They do.
coming
Instant
off.
power.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same thing. Like, they
Like
have a lot
no
of torque.
lag, like a throttle, right? Or
Yeah.
a carburetor.
Yeah.
So you have that
it's
little bit
instant.
of like, it's like,
Instant power there.
Yeah, and it's like, zing, like, it's quiet, it's fast, it's awesome. The
And light
biggest-
too, right? It's like
Super
little-
light. Yeah,
Yeah.
it weighs like 18 pounds.
remember we were in Big Lake, was it last year, year before? And there was that couple with the electric. Remember, it was just like, they were just butter, just shink, shink. I mean, just popping holes.
Yeah.
And then their battery went to their battery died fast though.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Well,
that
I
was the
wonder
one
how many
thing-
holes you can drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember what what happened or what they said, but I do remember them being like, "Oh, we're done drilling holes."
No.
Yeah, and then maybe they forgot to charge it or something. But I was skeptical, like, "Oh, that's what's up with those electric augers, huh? They just last for 5 holes and then it's done." Like,
You want to tuck the battery. Well, it says 60 holes per charge with
Oh,
18,
really?
18 inches of ice.
in Fairbanks, that's 13 holes.
Exactly. So you get one. You get one.
Oh, you get one?
No.
Oh, like 4 feet of ice, though. Yeah. That's 60 holes in Michigan and 6 inches of ice.
Yeah. No,
It's 30 degrees.
Exactly. I guess you got to keep the battery warm. So I'll take it, and I just got it. Like, I've only had it. I've
Put
had
it in
it
the
for
front
this
right here?
season. Yeah, drop it in exactly. Yeah, drop it in
crotch
my
area?
jacket pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's like keep it warm, and I guess you're good. So, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm still skeptical. I don't know about those.
I'm skeptical, and I'm excited.
I mean, it would suck if you get out there and it's just not. You did all the work and you're there and like, you're almost to the end. You couldn't get it.
yeah, we.
But how fast does it charge?
It takes a while.
It does,
Yeah, at least in my
like an overnight kind of deal.
like that. Yeah,
You could bring like a spare battery.
yeah.
Okay, an extra battery.
They're expensive for the augers, but they're. I mean, it's you need it, so
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. Well, I guess for the weight thing, especially if you're like hiking into spots or skiing into spots. Yeah, that makes sense. I was my uncle brought on our moose hunt. He brought an electric chainsaw.
Oh,
Good thing I bought the gas one, dude. This thing didn't even cut the tree.
oh,
He cut
really?
like some branches off, and he went to cut the tree, and he was like, done.
Oh, that was it.
Get out the way, dude.
Was it in Milwaukee?
No, it was a new DeWalt. He was like all proud of it and shit,
Oh.
and it just didn't do it.
Yeah, my brother just got his hands on electric.
I would assume they're getting better and better. I guess I backtrack. I don't think it was new, but I'm assuming that it's only going to get better. You know, as the batteries get better and everything.
It's the way. It's the new way of things.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing good things about electric saws.
Yeah.
Like they're just
like the chainsaw.
yeah.
Yeah.
My brother just borrowed one for a weekend, and he was like, "Dude, I'm not going back."
It's definitely
I'm like,
way
"What? I just got a new
smaller
Husqvarna."
and easier to handle and all that.
Yeah, I
and,
mean, there's no gas, there's no mess, there's no oil, there's no, I mean,
yeah.
bar oil or whatever, but like it seems convenient.
But then you had to like put them on your sleeping bag at night because it's gonna freeze and then it's done.
Yeah.
So you buy the Milwaukee electric chainsaw and the Milwaukee heated jacket.
And stick the
you go.
And
batteries in
stick
there.
the batteries in the heated jacket.
That's
That's
smart. That's thinking.
okay. You
There
might
you
want
go.
to think about that for your auger batteries.
Well,
Did you get an extra battery for your auger too?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I
Do you
didn't.
bring the
That'll
gas
be the
one
next
as backup in case?
No, that one's out of commission.
Oh, so you're fully
1980s.
electric.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
Okay,
I will.
okay.
I will be carrying both, or at least have the other one in my truck, so it's not 100 and whatever.
Well, when you invite me, I'm bringing mine.
yeah,
Just in case.
absolutely. Yeah.
It never. I don't
coming
leave
with
home
me.
without it. Bring some extra wrenches and a couple extensions too.
You know, I will
Exactly,
say
yeah.
though that stupid little hex screw gets loose all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It like, I don't know why.
You
It
don't
just
want to
gets
lock.
so-
You don't want to Loctite it either. In
No,
case you gotta
because
add
you-
an extension.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, never. No, you kind of want it to be not overly tight because you don't want to strip it either. Do you have the Allen
Yeah,
wrench?
yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
it.
You just have to check it every time,
Yeah, that's
else you're in trouble.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that we'd ever need to use an extension in South Central Alaska ice fishing. Not until maybe like
If the
spring.
weather keeps up like this,
Yeah, yeah.
Sand
Spring
Lake be
being
like 6
colder.
feet.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that ever. The deepest that I've ever drilled ice is Lake Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
thick ice. I would say.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to say we were
4 feet.
Oh, it was like the extension barely got us to the bottom.
Okay.
I mean,
How
we
long
were
is the extension?
18 inches or something, right?
12, 18 inches,
Oh.
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, so
something
they
like
come in
that.
different sizes. Okay, just
Yeah.
extend that because normally it's what 4 feet.
Uh,
The one that comes with it,
3 feet, I think. The
Okay.
standard auger blade.
and then
is
you're
like-
able to just
yeah,
add
3
on
feet.
more and more.
Yeah, I want
Oh.
to say we put an 18-inch extension on, and we barely hit.
Barely got through.
I mean, it was like the base of the. I mean, we were almost driving it into the
Yeah.
ice to like, oh man, I don't know if we're gonna get through.
Yeah.
We
The
had one
best
of them
is-
big poles, and
Best is when you got to drill 2 holes next to the hole that you're trying to get through, so you can get your auger low enough to poke through. So you
Oh,
can
is that the
bury
trick?
the whole thing in the ice.
oh,
to
I
get
see. So
through
you can
there,
get you can get deeper because
Little
you got
bit.
the.
yeah.
So then
Little room.
your auger's like just
Yeah.
splashing in the water. Yeah, man, you gotta get creative up there in the interior, don't
Yeah,
you?
it's fun.
Yeah. I always wanted to go up there, man. I saw an article in Fish Alaska probably about 12 years ago where some guys up there, I forget what their names were. They're hardcore ice fishing group. It's like 3 dudes that just kind of like tour Alaska and fish, and they hit the the main interior lakes up there, and just I was like, man, I was like, there's way more to do than just like, Big Lake or Lake Louise or, what I mean, you can get up there and just find tons of good fisheries.
Yeah.
And we don't got to like rattle off all the hot spots, but I'm just saying in general, like I was surprised that ice fishing opportunities are really good.
They are, and I mean,
Just gotta do a little driving.
like the guy that you were talking about that's going to Canada. I mean, you start hearing about those guys, and like I fish a lot, and these guys are doing like just crazy stuff.
Yeah,
and they're
like
doing
expedition type fishing trips.
and they're like, I'm addicted to lake trout. These guys are like, they have a problem. It's like they're like these solo. I mean, it's the most
I would do
badass
something like
thing.
that. If
Big
you're
risk.
retired, like let's go, man.
it's
We're gonna go to Canada.
It's just amazing. It's so cool to like hear about these guys that are doing like such like badass stuff. And you're like, I need to meet that guy.
Yeah, there's always someone doing some more cool shit than you.
taking it to another
That's
level.
the guy that I want to meet. Like
Yeah.
those are the guys. Like you meet him every once in a while. And you're like,
Well,
"Man, those guys
and
are
he
so
was cool too. Is like, he even like hauls out his crap. You know what I mean? He like doesn't leave anything on the ice.
Yeah,
Nothing. Like there isn't a trace. I mean, obviously there might be some like blood spots from fish, and
Yeah.
Does he cover the
know,
hole back up?
I don't know about all that. I think he lets
Nature take its course.
Mother Nature take care of that. But I was surprised, and he's like, managing even waste, human waste, and like hauling it out. I'm like, when he said that, I'm like, damn, like that's next level thinking. Like you're actually really considering conservation and like the pristine nature of your fishery that you're using, and you know what I mean? Like ultimate respect, man.
yeah.
Like I when I think ice fishing, I just think kind of like hot coffee, go out to the lake, pop an ice house up, hit the buddy heater, get some tunes going, catch some fish, have some sandwiches. Like you just kind of like,
I think
do
you
your
need to
thing
bring
and
an
get out of
extra
there, and
tent
then-
for the bathroom, though.
yeah. And then this guy's like spending the night and like
Right.
managing all that. It just,
Yeah.
no, you do.
Yeah.
Is that the move, though?
I don't know.
Just a couple holes in the extra
Well,
tent over
he
there.
had
I gotta go. I'm taking the snow machine over way out there.
Well,
don't look that way.
That's what I'm thinking most of us do,
Yeah.
which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but he's just thinking like big picture,
Yeah.
coming back there for the next 30, 40 years and it being exactly the same
Yeah.
when he left it. And it got me thinking, I'm like,
Well, I think that's
I
the
guess, like-
Alaskan way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
oh, you don't shit on the trail?
No,
Oh, I've known some guys to shit on the trail.
no, never have.
On the trail.
Like on it.
Oh boy.
I was like, whoa.
Oh boy.
I mean, there's a bush over there.
You bury it.
I mean,
like,
at least
you bury it.
Yeah, no, there's some dirty motherfuckers out there, right?
What do we call them? Surface shitters.
Surface poopers.
Surface poopers.
I won't name names.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Is that time? Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. All right, we're back. Hey, just a reminder to our listeners, please do not forget to go and check out our website, alaskawildproject.com. As mentioned before, lots of new merchandise is in. We have hoodies, T-shirts, hats, beanies, stickers, koozies, you name it, we've got it. Also, check out our stuff over at Barney Sports Chalet. Kevin picked up some of our stuff. He's got it displayed beautifully in his store. We've got some other stuff on the way as well, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you to Patreon members, folks that are behind the scenes, throwing in a little support on a financial level. Anything helps. $1, $100, $2, whatever you got to help out the cause. And yeah, that's what I got. Perf. You've been saying that a lot lately.
I know, man.
Is that the kids?
It's the kids at school, man.
Yeah.
It's no cap.
I was like, when you hit me with like some new abbreviated stuff, is that the right term? Is it abbreviated when it's short?
Yeah. It's just like the letters or just shortened.
I'm like, well, you're like at school with these kids every day.
Yeah.
And so you're like in their environment, you're in their element of the of the new jargon. So I'm like, I was kind of making fun of you, and now I'm like, well, I can't make fun of him because that's like, it's his work.
Yeah,
he's like in it with these kids.
Gotta stay young, man.
I mean, my 14-year-old's coming with stuff all the time. Like, I think I said it before. She started calling me bro, and I was like, ooh. I was like, no,
bruh,
no, no.
That would be dad. That would be dad.
Well, they call like she calls her teammates. She plays hockey, all girls team, and they call each other bro, and I'm like, So what's going on now? Like, we just bro is just the easy way to go?
I guess.
I'm like, all right, but don't call your dad bro. Okay.
I'm dad to you.
I'd almost rather be called my name by my kid than fucking bro. I don't bro me. No.
I get pops. Hey, pops.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, because they call you Poppy anyway, right?
I know, but Pops sounds old.
Yeah, I know. It's like when I started calling my dad when I grew up.
Yeah, my pops. My pops. Oliver, do you have any fishing mentors? Obviously, your dad, but is there anyone else that maybe, as you have gone on this like lifelong journey, been like, man, this dude is doing it. I like what he's doing, or not really?
Not really. Yep. I mean, there's, obviously we all learn from each other with fishing and hunting and anything outdoors. You talk to guys, but I've never really had a guy that I'm like, been like attached to and want, this is what I want, you know, this is who I want to be like. This is a guy, you know, they want to learn everything from. There's never really been a person like that for me. And even my dad, like, you know, he taught me the basics and everything. And like, he's more of a mentor as far as like his life experiences and everything that he's done, not so much in like the fishing aspect. So, and then, I mean, I just haven't really had a fishing mentor. And like everything that I've done has been, I've kind of figured it out.
DIY,
like,
self-learned, self-taught.
Yeah, but, you know, I can't take all the credit for that because I have a lot of friends, you know, and they, you know, we share information. So something that I find, I'll share with a couple guys, and something that they find, they'll share with me. And like, you know, we go do a lot of that stuff. And a lot of the stuff that I have done, I've, you know, figured it out and done a lot of research and everything. So, you know, but you can never take credit for all of it. You know, that's not fair to everybody that I have learned from. But that's, you know, that's the cool thing about the outdoors is like, you know, you get in with a group of guys or, you know, a lot of people, and everybody wants to share to an extent, you know, and they want, you know, if you get in with, you know, someone's inner circle, you know, you can kind of start like, you know, getting some really good stuff. But like, other than that, like, it's kind of on you to figure it out. And then once you've earned, I guess I feel like once you've kind of earned your place and proof to guys that you're not just like some dude, you know, just trying to get stuff and then leave. And side note from that, military guys have it really, really hard coming up to Alaska.
Sure.
Really, really hard.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to talk to him. You got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to tell them anything because they're leaving. And they don't think that they care about the resources and everything. And that's something that I ran into. It's something that a lot of my military friends have run into. Yeah. And I even get afraid to show military guys some stuff that I've figured out, you know. But, once you've earned your place or start, you know, learning new things, it's kind of cool to like, you know, learn from other people and show them your stuff.
Yeah.
And
share it.
But I feel like there's like that mix of like helping out your friends, but there's so much like secretiveness that goes on and so much other, like with everything in Alaska, whether it's like you're going to snow machine this certain spot or you're going to ice fish this spot or you're going to hike this place that no one's been to. And it gets crazy when you get into hunting and stuff like that. Like, it's like you don't tell anybody your spots or like all this. And I feel like everyone's trying to help each other, but not really.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're trying to help, everyone's trying to help each other, but they'll also take all their friends to your spots. So you don't tell them too much, you know. But Gabby knows about the fishing spots.
Have you been blindfolded?
Basically. Threatened.
Yeah.
If you ever tell anybody.
Because people they do ask me when they see my pictures too, and I'm just like,
I can't say.
I mean,
you know what you say?
Kill me.
Upper Huffman.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
Jim Creek.
Yeah, Jim Creek. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
It is a really good
Jim
one.
Creek could be everything.
Yeah,
Wow,
there you go.
That sturgeon in Jim Creek.
Yep. It's hot.
I mean, there's just a weird, maybe it's like this in all, you know, popular outdoor lifestyle states where I just feel like Alaska is just like, it's kind of obnoxious. I'm just as bad. I'm pretty tight-lipped in general about what I do too. So I'm just as bad as anybody here with this statement but we're kind of like over the top with, you know, you can sit here with 3 or 4 guys, like when the mics are off and we'll sit here and talk about like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other, and you're like, oh, you're talking about so-and-so creek up there? And you're like, oh man, how'd you know? And it's like, you just said enough things where a guy knew kind of like where that one bend in that hole was or whatever. And it's like, it's funny because you got all these guys here and secretly talking about a place and everybody knows where the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, but everybody's tight-lipped.
Well, it's for that. It's for that. I mean,
it's the way it has to be, though.
It is. Yeah.
It's the way it has to be because if you tell somebody, there's a chance they're going to tell somebody. You know, that's
you tell the wrong person, and that's where the issue is. But you spend your life building a group of people that you trust. And for me, it's multiple different, like almost solo fishermen that like I met them at this place so we can talk about this place.
Okay.
And I met them, know these guys, and these are my homies. These guys go everywhere with me, and okay, I can tell them about these stuff, and they tell them about this stuff, and they're not going to tell anybody. So what I mean as outdoorsmen, I think, we build our groups around people that we trust, and trust is everything, So you start getting a guy in your group that starts burning your spots. You're like, I'm not going to hang out with him anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't get invited no more.
No, he's not coming back. Like, that's it. So, and like, guys, it's cool for me to take somebody to a place, but it's not cool for one of the guys that I showed to take his buddies to this place that I showed him. So it's all kind of things.
It's like unwritten rules and things that etiquettes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a conversation you got to have.
Yeah.
Just like sharing someone's picture online or whatever. It's like, hey, man, is it cool? Or like, hey, are you cool if I bring someone to this spot, or you want me to keep this secret?
Yeah.
I think people understand that.
Yeah, and it goes with like fishing, hunting, snow machine spots.
Skiing's a big one up here, too.
Yeah.
Guys don't talk about skiing.
It's just funny.
Especially
like,
backcountry stuff.
Holy smoke, they do not talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
No, and
Not to me.
Like, they'll take you.
No.
Yeah, they'll take you.
But you
Well, the
can't tell
snow
nobody about
machining
it.
thing is the funniest part.
Yeah.
Is like,
Well, everything,
you don't
Prince
wanna-
William Sound,
you
the
don't wanna
fishing,
tell
like
anybody where-
crabbing, shrimping, everything is
you don't tell anybody where I hunt in Prince William Sound. It's like, you talking about on all the islands?
like right here.
Okay. It's just, I think it's just because I think we're all just trying to keep it like what it is. Mm-hmm. It's not,
Well, it's special, and we want to keep it special. And you hear these stories of these places down in the lower 48 that are just like blown up because you can't even go there now because everyone's heard about it, and so it's like we're trying to keep this stuff dear to our heart for ourselves and our close family, or our kids and their kids, hopefully, and just that's just a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's just like the stingy part is just you want to preserve it,
yeah,
and you don't want it to get overpopulated, whatever it is, because it's pretty demoralizing when you've been going to a spot, whatever it is, hiking, fishing, hunting, snow machining, and then you go there and there's like a track in the snow. You're like, oh my god, I've come back here for 10 years, I've never seen a track, and then there's like a dude made it in there, and it's like
I knew it
just kind of like that hurts,
The funny one that I find odd that people don't want to share, which is like why, is like your smoked salmon recipe. Like, what am I going to do, dude? Take your stuff and like put it in Costco? Like, I just want it for me, like in my family.
Because
why is that such a secret?
There's not that many people packaging and selling commercial smoked salmon.
You
want to jump on that business while it's still hot.
You get the key to salmon.
That's true, though.
You gotta pry it out of people.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like, I don't tell you the secret sauce, Coca-Cola, or whatever it is. It's like, come on, man. I'm not gonna sell it. I promise.
The secret is just a different version of sugar or salt.
Yeah. It's brown sugar. It's the secret.
It's my grandma's recipe.
Yeah.
Has one less thing than your grandma's recipe.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
That's what makes it different.
Well, let's get into some stuff that we actually can talk about, and some things that maybe will be helpful to people that are trying to get out there and try to get after it. I mean, we have a lot of listeners or people that are new to Alaska or new into ice fishing. I mean, we'll transition into the other stuff after this. But I want to get into a little bit of some of the tips, techniques for someone that's new. Like, I feel I'm new. I've only gone like a couple years with my kid. I never caught nothing huge. I mean, I got high hopes to go do some of this big stuff. But when you are researching a certain lake, what are some of the steps? It's like, all right, these are the first things that you should probably look for. Some of the things that you got to bring with you. And then where do you decide where you're even going to punch a hole in this place,
Yeah. As far as a new lake, you obviously want to figure out what species are in the lake and what species you want to go target. And then before you ever do anything related to fishing, safety is the first key. If you're going to snow machine out, make sure you have extra spark plugs and extra belt and everything for all your snow machines and everything. Make sure you can fix the gear that you have when you go out. And then, as far as, depending on the species, fish generally migrate towards structure and where fish, where bait is going to be. So like a big weed bed. The fish are, they're going to have a lot of that. A lot of their food source is going to be in those weeds or along the edges of those weed beds, so that you're going to find the bigger fish. Where you find small bait fish or whatever they're eating, you're going to find the bigger fish. And so you're looking for structure, essentially, when you're approaching a new lake or a new body of water. You're looking for structure. And in a river, you're looking for holes and riffles and different, log jams and everything. If you were to just walk up to a creek and take a look at it, like, you're not just going to cast into like the, 4-inch water, 4-inch deep water that's right in front of you. You're going to go look for some deeper water and go find some structure kind of where, and then up here, especially in the summer, you're going to look for, depending on the time of year, you're going to start looking for salmon. And that's when guys are going to be, if you're trout fishing, you're going to start looking for salmon. Or if you're salmon fishing, start looking for salmon too. But, yeah. Gabby laughed. That was funny.
Well, let me ask a question on the structure thing.
Yeah, I have a dry sense of humor. I'm sorry.
When you're looking for a structure is that something you're going to want to like pre-scout out in the summer? Like, I want to come fish this lake in the winter. I see that there's like structure here as you're whatever boating or rafting or kayaking on this lake, and then you're just keeping a mental note of that, or is there a way to look that up?
The Department of Fish and Game, Alaska Department of Fish and Game has there's this huge map or lake database, and if you click on one of those lakes, and I don't know what, I'm sure you can just Google Alaska map database. If you click on one of those lakes, it'll tell you the species that are in the lake generally. How they got all this information, I can go to that later. It's kind of funny, but they'll usually pull up like a bathymetric map of that lake, and it'll show you all of the structure and like.
So you're looking at depths in there, pretty much, because I pull those up and it'll be like 10 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 20, So you're looking for those high points that are within the lake,
and it's just like on a topographical map where you're looking for those lines that are close together, and that like. If they're close together, it's going to be like a lot
rising
steeper
or something.
Yeah, it'll be like a lot steeper as opposed to if like the lines are spaced way out. It's going to be a lot like more gentler of a slope. I guess. Got it. So you're looking for, especially looking for lake trout. You're looking for, and it's weird. Alaska is so weird because every lake is so different, and some lakes are stocked. So there will be fish in them, and they might not be like the stereotypical lake trout, like big cliffs in, like underwater cliffs and ledges and stuff. There might not be that. Like Harding Lake is one of those lakes that's just like a big bowl. So it's super hard to fish because there's nowhere to pinpoint where you should fish.
Got it.
But other lakes, like Quartz Lake in Fairbanks is like, there's like a 20-foot channel that runs along shore, 30-foot channel or something. And there's this giant weed bed out in the middle of the lake that you can like work that weed bed. And I'm not afraid to talk about like those, like Harding, Quartz, and Birch. Those are like the big three in Fairbanks. I think that's the article that you were talking about.
Yeah, totally.
Right off Jim Creek there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right off of Jim Creek and Ship Creek too.
Yeah.
They're right in the middle of Ship Creek. Yeah, right in there. Yeah. Yeah. So, you're looking for structure when you first approach a lake, and you can just go out there and cast if you want. You might catch something, but generally you want to kind of start to narrow down the type of what you're looking at. So you want to start to narrow down like the structure. So start shallow and then kind of work deeper, and you can kind of figure out where those fish are. And then at the same time, it takes time. It takes time to learn. Especially with trout fishing in the rivers and stuff, like May, June, July, you're going to be fishing different water than you would be fishing in, August, September, and November. Like August, September, November, you're fishing behind salmon. And then, in the spring, you're fishing like standard trout water, I would say. So like holes and log jams, and where you would typically look for fish in rivers. So it's I mean, the biggest, when you approach a river, just, before you even go, just start doing some research, start looking at, what's in, like, Google Map. I mean, Google Maps.
Google Earth, Google Maps, things like that.
Yeah, you can see structure in lakes. If you approach a lake, like, you zoom in on that lake, and you can, like, if the ledges come up super shallow, you can see them on Google Maps, and that's like a great tip.
Yeah.
So you do your homework.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spend hours, I'm going to say like probably an hour and a half to 2 hours a day staring at maps. Just staring at maps and reading articles and finding stuff and little tidbits of information that you find that leads you down this crazy rabbit hole trail. And
but I'm assuming a big part of it is also like, you got to punch a hole here and then punch a hole there and then punch a hole there and be willing to spend the whole day out there.
Yeah.
Like, what's the amount of time that you will spend, like, boom, or do you, like, right away, I'm going to punch a hole here and I'm going to punch a hole 10 feet to the right or deeper? And is that how you approach it? Or are you like, I'm going to try here and then I'm going to try there? Or?
We'll run a string of holes. So it's ice fishing. We'll take, we'll find structure in the lake, and sometimes that'll take 2 or 3 hours to figure out where the structure is and what we're actually dealing with,
how it relates to the maps and
exactly. And like, they have all like Onyx and whatever other apps are out there that you can look at, but like, they're not accurate. Sometimes they're accurate, but
gives you an idea, really.
Yeah. So you poke a hole and you're at 70 feet and you're like, all right, well, that's too shallow or too deep or whatever. So you start looking for where exactly you think the lake trout are going to be, or and then from there you'll branch out and drill a string of holes, and sometimes we'll drill them on top of structure and at the bottom. So we'll drill like 60 holes, going back. We'll drill a ton of holes. I mean,
60 holes?
Sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, if we need it. Yeah.
Not with that electric one.
No, with that electric one. You max out at 1 or 2 and 4 feet ice, and you're done. That's your day. Those are your holes.
I never thought that many holes.
We'll drill a ton of holes. I mean, like we usually drill 20 right off the bat. Like
really?
20 right off.
Like
the
before
bat.
you even start fishing, just boom, 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 boom.
Sometimes we'll poke one, drop a rig down. If we don't catch anything, then we'll big string of holes. Like so
I'll give you a gauge for depth with that first hole, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, we thought we were in 20 feet. It's actually 30.
Yeah.
So you can go like work inshore or off and go shallow or deeper, right?
Yeah. I think the first thing for me is like a drill hole. I'm like, this is going to be the gold mine hole. This is the hole that everything. Oh. Yeah. I want to drill a hole right here, and I'll drill a hole, and then I catch anything, and then I'll go drill. Holes, so.
Now, what do you use?
Always optimistic about that first hole.
Exactly. Yeah. Got to be optimistic.
Of course. This is the one I chose.
I'm feeling this one.
Yeah.
Well, probably a lot of times that first one is the one.
Yeah, I usually pull 1 or 2 out of there.
Yeah. Now, what about, like, you're saying checking the depth? I know there's different tools and, like, screens and things that people bring out there to, like, read the water underneath. Mm-hmm. What have you found that is, like, works well?
Mine is what I run, and it's because, I don't have a ton of money, so I'm not buying the latest and the greatest thing, but I run just a sonar, and it's just like a round.
The circle one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a round dial, like a Vexilar, Markham, Humminbird. They all make them. And that's what I use. And it's just basically like a sonar, and it sends a signal down to the bottom, and it shoots up. And if there's something in the way of that, beam that's coming down and coming back up, it'll mark that as like a bar. It's like a green or red or orange or yellow bar or whatever. And that'll tell you if there's a fish there or something. So you'll.
Oh, that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
You drill a hole and drop your bait down, and you can see your bait down there. And
do you do this?
Yeah.
Right when you drill it, call them in.
Yeah.
Does that
drill
work
a
for
hole.
ice fishing too?
Drill a hole.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Drill a hole, pop a beer, and then sink.
Get the day started.
Yeah.
Make sure the fish hear it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so I have seen, and I have gone out with guys that have that circular thing. What's that called? The circle rainbow?
Flasher. Electronic. Yeah, we should call them electronic.
Now, what's like?
Now I want to know.
Yeah.
What is there that is maybe a step below that, and what's like the top of the line thing that's like coming out now?
Step below that. I don't know if you can get any more basic than that. As far as like,
Is it like the string that has like 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot knots, and you just
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You get a cannonball at the end of it.
yeah, you're like, all right, yeah, this is how deep that is.
It is 300 feet deep here. It sucks.
Okay, that's the sonar flasher.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is like the new hot boy?
I think it, like a lot of guys are running like the Humminbird Helix 7. And that's
that just sounds like expensive.
That's the thing. That's like
Christmas coming up, Gabby. Christmas coming up.
Yeah, that thing's like a fish, like a fish finder on a boat.
Yeah.
Let me see. What is it? The Helix.
Helix.
Oh, it's like just like a fish finder on a boat.
Right here.
And it is made for boats, but they come with like an ice package, and it's got the the transducer that you can use in like when you're just sitting there.
Do you still drop it in the water in the hole there?
Yeah, it's kind of cool actually. You can take those flashers, and if you like clear off a spot of ice really clear, and like squirt some water on it, you can shoot through the ice. It's kind of fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you don't have to. You don't have to dip it in there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like we'll look for bait when we're doing that.
Yeah.
So we'll like search around before fishing for Lakers. We'll try to hunt down some bait.
Yeah. But I mean, how necessary do you think is one of those tools? Like I've gone with guys that have them. I haven't bought one myself.
I won't fish with that.
But I mean, no, not that. But I mean, like the other stuff, like to
That's
look,
good to know.
like to know the depths and stuff like that, and the circle. Yeah,
like I won't fish without it.
You won't fish without it.
No.
Oh.
No, it's boring. I'm not gonna sit there and look down a hole.
So it's like
I've been doing that for so long that it's really hard. If that thing dies, I'm like, I'll sit there for like 15 minutes. I'm like,
Oh, that's it.
I can't.
Is it like
It's
compound
breakfast.
bow to trad bow guy?
I don't know what the difference is. I just can't do it. Like,
I've never used one, so I don't even, I've been no wonder.
if you
No
don't,
wonder.
if you don't want to just become insanely addicted,
Fishing blind.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I've been
Yeah,
doing.
good job, Gabby. That's exactly what it is.
So I've been getting lucky all these times.
No, I mean you're there.
Yes, in general, yes.
I caught all mine blind, technically. Just sitting
That's
there.
true. She's really patient, though. I'm not that patient.
I mean, it is cool when you're like, hey, this point on this lake is like known for producing fish, and you go and pop a hole and catch a fish. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
right on, there's fish here.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that after you have been to the same lake, you already know like this is the spot, or this is the spot. You don't have. You still bring the thing just to see if something's down there.
For specific lakes, it becomes really important for specific species. So lake trout will often come in suspended. So you can be fishing at 120 feet, but that fish will come in 30 feet below the ice, and you'll never know that fish is there if you don't have electronics and you're not looking to see where those fish are actually coming in the water.
If you're just like dropping to the bottom and going 6 inches off the bottom, and all the fish are 80 feet above,
Exactly.
you're fishing blind, right?
Yep.
You just
yeah.
gears going right past the fish.
Got it.
Yeah.
You just assume they're always on the bottom, right?
Yeah, you assume that, but oftentimes they're not. I mean, oftentimes they're up high, but
Suspended, is that what you said?
Yeah, suspended.
That means up off the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gabby's really good at fishing. Like, she's very, very patient. No, she's amazing.
Just
She
sit
doesn't just sit there. She does
Okay.
whatever
Well,
you need to do.
that's my other question. So, are you actively jigging, or do you use like one of those little machines, or is it one of those that just sits there? Is there something that's better, or it just depends how bored you are?
I'm actively jigging, and
Okay.
I'm fully engaged, entertained the entire time.
Yeah.
Even if my electronics die, I know I said I like get bored, but I'm not bored.
Yeah.
Like I'm like very
You
engaged.
just fish even harder. Like, come on,
Exactly. Yeah. Banging that bait off the bottom of the ice. Yeah.
fish. Trying to get some ruckus going.
Yeah. No, I'm actively jigging the whole time. I don't run tip ups or set lines or anything. I like the contact of like feeling a fish grab. So
Yeah. So, what are some other maybe must have or preferred things to bring out there for ice fishing?
Having a scoop on like an ice scoop to scoop the ice out or like the slush out of the hole is a big one unless you want to use your hand.
Not recommended.
Cold. Yeah, not recommended. That's cold.
It's like once your hands get freezing cold, they don't ever go back to warm.
No.
I mean, unless you're like in front of the buddy heater all day, right?
Yeah,
Like it's Especially when you're catching those big Lakers. Like, you must just be used to having numb hands.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I don't feel anything.
Oh, yeah. You're just like, oh, my
I feel
God.
nothing.
Until you get in the truck and you're like, ah.
Yeah. Like, oh, my hands are on fire. Yeah.
What about the rod? Like I see you go to the place and there's all these different ones. Like, I don't know which one. Like, is it more about the reel and than the rod, or is it both?
It's the fisherman.
It's like the hockey stick.
I like, so for like a lake trout rod, I'll look for like a 42-inch medium heavy rod, and very specifically, I like a long bottom handle. So you can grab that rod, and when you're fighting a big fish, you have that bottom handle that can rest on your forearm.
Leverage.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can hang when they're making like big long runs. You can hang on to it, and it's not just in your wrist. You know, so you can like rest it on your hand, and like they'll take a ton of line. And then having a good reel. When there's some like good cheaper options for reels, it's like a Fluger Tryon, I think is the name. It's like a kind of a silvery pinkish thing. What color are those reels? I don't know. I'm colorblind. I'm super colorblind.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So you don't know you've been catching silvers this whole time?
Yeah. These are alcohols. Yeah.
Oh, that thing's got some pink on it?
Yeah.
Look like a chromer to me.
Yeah. It'll smoke up just fine.
Hey, honey, this meat isn't even red anymore.
Yeah.
Damn, I saw it had that snaggle tooth. I thought it was still good.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Now, what are some of the favorite? I know you mentioned the Kodiak Custom boys doing cool shit. Mm-hmm. We got to have them in here too. Yeah. I've been talking with them. Yeah. But what are maybe some things you're like, man, I really like this for this or that for that? Unless it's a secret.
It can, it varies. If you've been lake trout fishing, it's like this weird thing that everybody's, if you're just getting into it, like a 4-inch white tube jig, 4-inch white tube jig is like the standard lake trout bait. That's like that's the standard. So like you go out and catch a few on that, and then you start getting way into it, and then you start looking at YouTube and whatever other resources you could find. But like like jig and wraps and
what's the funniest name thing?
Funniest name?
The jig and wrap?
Jig and wrap. I have no idea.
The lily wop?
That always got like funny weird names.
I have no idea.
No, it seems like the white's the move though, right? Because it glows it kind of glows underwater, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Like that.
It's like a visual.
My understanding of that is like the bait fish generally have like a white belly. So a fish is looking up at something, they'll see like the white belly, and it's just white's just a good color. So a lot of guys like chartreuse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about the ones that flash?
Like
just lights and stuff.
Oh, I'm never using them.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they seem to be popular. I wondered about that too.
Yeah.
What do they like? Light up underwater?
They have like a little something in there, almost. And you almost like when you used to go to raves and you crack the light sticks, and it has that in
the
there.
Glow stick.
Yeah. We'll run those for burbot. Those are fun. You take those little tiny glow sticks and crack them and shove them up the ass end of a tube. And then in your bait, you don't have to sit there and pull a glow jig or a glow tube back up.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It just stays there and glows the whole time. Yeah.
See, they're attracted to that.
Yeah, they like that.
And that's dark fishing, right?
That's
night fishing.
Yeah.
Do Lakers bite?
I've never caught a lake trout at night, and guys do it all the time, and I've never done it. I can't do it. I've tried so many times.
At what? At night?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I've just fished and like night like a handful of times, like really early in the morning or really late at night. Mm-hmm. Nada.
Nope. Same.
Nope. Well, that was one of my questions. Like, is there a better time of day, or you found that it doesn't matter?
Like morning and evening for lake trout generally is like that's the golden hour at the end, and then first thing in the morning there that you can get out there. If you get out there in the dark and you're set up, you'll start catching fish as soon as it starts getting light.
First light always seems to be the best, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the night stuff. The YouTube videos that you can watch, guys are catching giant lake trout at night. I've just never. I don't know how. I don't know why. I've seen fish that are clearly lake trout on my graph, electronics or flash or whatever you want to call it, like that's clearly lake trout. It's a big mark, and like they don't react to bait. I don't like react to my jig at all. They don't care. It's like I don't know, I'm doing something wrong. Or something.
They go dormant or something at night, and
I don't know. I can't think that they wouldn't feed at night here, especially because it's dark for a month.
Yeah, it's dark all the time.
Yeah, it's dark all the time. So they have to eat. I can't catch them, so I just go to sleep, wake up, and catch them during the day.
You mentioned earlier a couple things. You said fluorocarbon, tippets. What was the other line you said? Braided line. So kind of walk us through that. Like, what are some things that are like better for this or better for that? Because I have some, standard ice fishing stuff, and some of them are braided line, and some of them are like regular line. So is there something that's better for certain big fish, or is there something that's just standard?
Yeah. So for lake trout, generally, if you were to think about lake trout fishing, you'd probably think that they live in pretty deep water. They're generally like a deeper water fish. So we fish braid because it has no stretch. Like you can't, you're not going to stretch braid. Yep. So when you're fishing, when you set the hook 100 feet down, that braid's not going to stretch as much as like a mono or a fluorocarbon. And so you're not going to get as good of a hook set. So we'll run like on your reel, when you're rigging up your reel, you're going to take you're going to first tie on like a thin monofilament. And what that does is when you because braid is basically it's slippery. It's really slick.
It's like rope.
Yeah. So it'll spin on that metal spool when it gets cold. It'll all bundle up. And if you were to
go ice up and
if you were to hook a big fish and they were to pull line, it's going to spin that braid on that spool. And you're not going to be able to reel. I'm good. It's not it's going to spin, so you're not going to be able to reel, and that braid's just going to spin around on that spool. So you run like a mono layer on your spool, and then you'll use like a uni knot from braid to mono on your spool, and then you'll spin all your braid on. And I'll run 10-pound braid for like rainbows, and then 30-pound braid for lake trout, and then after you get your braid on your spool, then you're gonna run like a 3-4 foot fluorocarbon tippet leader. I get fly fishing and ice fishing.
What does that mean for people that have no idea what that is?
So on the end of your braid, you'll run that line. And it's so your braid's basically not attached to directly to your line. So braid will show up in water if you're fishing like super clear water. That braid will eventually start to change colors, and it'll usually starts out black or green or something or whatever color the company's selling it as. And it'll change it'll change colors. It'll eventually wear out and like get white, and it'll be very visible to the fish, and on lakes, and on harding, and some guys say it doesn't matter, but it's when it does matter, it matters. So it's kind of a one of those weird very specific things that try to make yourself 1% better. So yeah,
it's better than no percent.
Exactly. Yep. So if the fish can see your line, that's an issue. So for me personally, so I'll run my that braid, I'll run fluorocarbon or mono to that, and it's 12 to 20 pound mono off of that braid, and then you'll tie your jig on to that mono or braid, so that basically that 3 to 4 feet of fluorocarbon is gonna make that line not visible to the fish.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that leader is. The leader is doing. It's the same thing with a fly line, so you're not going to be tying your fly directly to a fly line, because it's just this bright green thing, attached to a fly. So those fish will see the bright green line, and then they'll see that fly.
Bite.
Yeah.
You might get
them. You might get a dumb one, and God, I like dumb fish, but
it's my favorite.
They taste the best too.
Yeah.
That was a good breakdown, man.
That was a good breakdown.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't fish regularly or tie a lot of knots is probably a foreign language, but if you have some general idea of it, I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go into these places, you know, wherever you're getting your lines and stuff, it's just like, Jesus, dude, I don't know, like
So
9
much
foot, 8 foot,
selections.
this fluorocarbon, that. It's like so overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like decide what it is and what's best. So just to hear a little bit of insight, that's good.
Yeah. I love taking people like to a store and having them like tell them exactly what they need, and then they ask why, and then I get to explain why, because I can talk about fishing forever.
Yeah.
I can talk about fishing lines forever, and it's boring to most people, but for me, it's super fun.
Yeah.
So when I get to do it, I'm like, yeah, I'll take you, and I'm gonna tell you what to buy, and you're about to spend $2,000.
Yeah. And then we're going to blindfold you.
Yeah, you're going to go to the spot.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube video? A YouTube channel?
No.
Oh, you should.
I tried, and I just
All the kids are doing it.
I still don't have a full grasp of what no cap means.
Oh.
So, you know.
Yeah, well, let's start there.
Yeah. I'm like,
Well, you
all
could
right.
even do it for your Instagram stuff. I mean, your Instagram's awesome. I think a little video
Yeah.
of just like the setup, or even in the store, be like, you know, if I'm, for example, like you're going to go, you know, Target dollies and be like, this is what I'm going to use, and this is what I want to. Unless that's like a secret.
It depends. It depends. It
You
depends.
can pick and choose what's
Yeah.
just general knowledge and you want to pass it on, and what is your hot, you know, your secret tips.
Yeah, those guys are really, really good at not blowing up spots, and the guys that do get like banished from the community, from the fishing community.
Yeah.
You know, but those guys on YouTube are really, really great. And I tried to do a YouTube thing for a while, and Gabby watched it, and she's like, "You look like a serial killer," because I'm just sitting in like this dark ice fishing tent, and my dog's next to me, and I'm sitting in this dark ice fishing tent by myself, and it's like 4 a.m. I'm like, I'm gonna catch some lake trout. And I like, yeah. And she's like, man, it's a little weird. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is weird. Delete. Like, yeah.
Is Gabby your only critic? I mean,
No. But she's usually right about most things. So, you know.
give her credit for that.
She's got a good gauge on
She's
it.
right. And she's like, that's weird. I'm like, okay, you're right.
All right,
I'm like,
all right.
not doing
That's
that.
not a good start.
I'll let someone else take pictures.
It was just in the tent.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And I was like, I'm just staring at Marty, who's right behind you, staring at him.
What's going on here?
See Marty just glaring at him.
Yeah. Who the hell
Yeah,
are
he
you
just looks
talking to, man?
Who's the guy in the back?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really more of like just getting out of your comfort zone and practicing more, and then, you know, figuring out. Yeah, you kind of might, you know, in your mind look like an ass the first couple of times, but you'll find a groove. You know, and I encourage you to do it because, you know, I think, you know, fishermen are going to be tight-lipped and secretive, but I think you also are communal. Like, there's a huge community of fishermen. You love to talk fishing and share stories.
Yeah.
And tell stories of big fish and maybe bigger fish than what they were, right? Like, so it's in you to want to share that and make those videos, but it's just, you know, getting out of your comfort zone and then getting comfortable with exposing yourself, right? And being a little bit, you know, some humility there. And
All you need is that.
before you know it, you'll make one. You're like, oh man, I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
What you need
know?
is that circle light that goes on your phone.
Do the TikToks.
Yeah.
It was too dim in the tent.
Yeah.
It's like FBI investigation.
It's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Secret shack.
This is what you need right here.
Marty, cover your face.
Is Marty the golden retriever?
Yeah.
Oh, I love those dogs,
that's
man. I love. We had one growing up, one of those same exact orangey ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those dogs.
They're great. He's nuts, but they're great. That one's nuts. But
He's
the
not
rest of
normal
them-
golden
He's
retriever.
insane.
No, he's not.
No, he's-
Not, you know, like you think they're just very cute and obedient, and
Yeah, he's got a lot of energy.
he doesn't listen.
He's a very, I guess, alpha dog, and he just doesn't listen. You can do whatever you want to him. He doesn't listen.
How many hooks has he caught?
He likes to bite him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'll sit there and like stand there with like this weird look.
Yeah.
And he's like got the
Get
hook
it
in
out.
his lip, and he's like, pull it out. I'm like, stop biting it.
No, you should pull him up.
I do. I did. Yeah.
I think I did see a picture of you
Yeah.
like holding him, holding him like a fish.
Have to take the picture. Yeah.
Actually, was one of my questions was getting the shot like techniques.
Oh, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been trying to like tell my son.
gonna ask him
you know, I'm
something,
like you gotta like pull it out. He's like holding it like this or whatever. I was like, you gotta like present it.
It's all
you know,
bent,
the
so you can't see the
presentation.
full-
Yeah.
So let's say
Yeah.
the presentation of, let's say, a ice fishing fish versus the presentation of like on a river. And then the third one on like a drift boat or on a raft. Like you're on the sideline, you're on the raft, and then on the lake.
So like on the
Loaded question.
Yeah. Boom.
Loaded.
I'm about to get fried by all the fish picture critics.
Actually,
Yeah.
So we do on the lake, Lake Trout. You got to pull them out and then pull them out of the hole. And
hold on, I think we need like a something that's like a fish.
I feel like you gotta try
We-
to get the tail.
Do we have something that's like a maybe that skull right there?
It's kind of a short one. Yeah, I don't really have anything long. We have a TV on the ground over there. Fell off the wall.
The
That's
bottle?
Oh, the vodka bottle. How about that? Is that gonna? That's not gonna.
Yeah,
spill,
let's
is
get
it?
some shots going.
I'll get real loose.
Give up all those secrets. Okay, perfect. Okay, so where are you gonna start? Let's start on the ice.
Okay. On the ice. Oh, this is the ghost pepper thing.
Man, that
We can definitely indulge if you guys want because it's good.
you guys want a shot?
I'm gonna get glasses.
Yeah. All right.
All right, hold on a second. We're gonna get 4 glasses.
You guys made Bloody Marys out of this.
No, we were
sounds
talking
good.
about no, we want to. Our homie, the mayor of Eagle River, brought that for us. Shout out to Adrian, the mayor. But his mom, we do a couple family trips with our kids and his mom, and she's an excellent cook, and she does like the meanest like drinks, and Bloody Mary is one of her standards. So like we're gonna bring one of those for that, just to get the heartburn just brewing first thing. Okay, all right. So something's coming out of the ice, obviously head first.
Yeah.
And then walk us through exactly. You said earlier you're going to take the hook out before you even pull him out of the water or her.
Yeah. So you pull the hook out before the fish ever comes out, and you're gonna I'm gonna flip this upside down.
Do you want to explain how you grab it?
Yeah. So
properly?
if you're getting like a big fish, you're coming up through the ice, it's going to be hard to like just grab that fish. So you're going to like slide your hand basically like up under the gill plate, but you got to be like real careful not to like grab the gills, I guess. So you're going to slide it like just underneath the gill plate, and you're basically going to like pull that fish out. You're going to pull it like straight up, and you're going to grab the tail. But when you grab the tail, it's going to come out like this, and you're going to not just grab the tail like that. You're going to flip your hand and turn that so the tail is on the outside of your hand, because like a fish picture, like I like showing the tail of the fish as opposed to like having it like this. You can't see the tail of that
Yeah,
fish.
that's a great point because looking at all your photos, you are displaying the tail, especially on a laker. It's a huge fin.
Yeah, and it's it's just a cool thing,
It helps. It helps present its size.
Yeah, and
You
the
know?
cool is, like the tail is just like a cool fin, and you hate to cover it up doing something like that. So
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
you pull it up and flip your hand and turn it. Okay, and then from there, that's where your grip is on that tail. So you'll get like a good firm grip on the tail, and like I was saying earlier, like you don't want to grab that fish up front. Like basically, you're just kind of like setting it in your hand and like putting like the pectoral fin between like your middle finger and your ring finger. And that's like, so you're not like crushing fins, you're not crushing like the guts of that fish. You're just setting it in there. You have a grip on the tail, so if that fish kicks, you still have control of that fish's tail. You have a good grip, and you can kind of move your dominant hand, whatever's cradling the body of that fish.
And it's not trying to pitch and roll on your when you're holding it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's the same with like if you were to approach it at a river, on a river, like
So let's say it's in the net and it's like,
going those ones are tough. When in the river, it's, wherever you can grab that fish. And steelhead, generally, like, they're not going to tolerate you messing with them a lot.
They're full of piss and vinegar still.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to, and there's steelhead up here, a lot of those smaller creeks, you can't pull the fish out of the water. So...
True.
Oh, you're not allowed to?
No, it's illegal to pull the fish out of the water.
Pull it up a little bit. Or you can turn that too. If it's...
Yeah, you can't pull the fish out of the water, so you're going to be, like, someone's going to be getting a hold of that fish however they can, hand over, under, whichever way you can get a hold of that fish, and then someone else is, like, dropping the net away from that fish, so that fish hasn't moved.
Oh, okay.
So heads upstream, so it's getting oxygen as you're going, or as it's going, like... And someone's going to be holding, like the guy, whoever caught the fish, is going to be holding that fish. The net gets dropped away. Camera guy's ready to rock. If it's only 2 people, the person who caught the fish is now in charge of the net and the fish. So the net's usually like in the picture, and the
Or you can step on it.
Or you can step on it.
Oh, good little technique there.
But the biggest thing is like, and it's really hard to do, but whoever caught the fish is basically in charge of netting their own fish, because the person who, unless there's 3 people there, the person who is not catching the fish has to have their camera ready. And
and they can't have the fish, the net, and then try to pull out their camera and all that. Yeah, it just makes it awkward.
The camera is ready, because so you're handling that fish for as little time as possible. Like you need that. I want that fish to be back, like I said, 5-10 seconds, and that's it. And a lot of the research says 30 seconds is fine, but like, the less time is the better. Yeah. So, like, you're going to be basically netting your own fish, or I'll have my camera ready and net the fish. You'll grab the net, and then, like, you deal with the fish, and I have the camera pointed on you, ready to rock. Like, it's very quick. It's a very quick process, and that fish is ready to go, and, like, push it all. Like, it goes. It kicks off and goes. So,
is it using a GoPro? For the picture, depends. What
I just bought phone. Like a phone, or I just bought like a nice camera.
You're not a Google Pixel guy, are you?
I don't know. What is that, a phone?
Oh, that's great stuff. You're right. There is like a real technique to holding the fish. I mean, because I like pride myself in like getting good photos of like antlered animals or bears or.
Well, that's like a lean thing, isn't it? You're like grabbing and like leaning back, or what do you?
Kind of. I mean, it's just like positioning of the animal, and then like I feel like
takes 4 steps back.
I get a lot of like fun shit talking about like taking all the time to take photos, but in my opinion, it's like that was what's going to last forever.
Yep.
Like that's the memory that you can always go back on.
Yeah.
To share with someone or show somebody. So it's like it's got to be as good as you can make it.
Yeah, and you have time with an animal.
Right. Well, you have a dead animal, it's a different story. But like the fish, like you actually have to be pretty calculated in this approach, because it's not. It's out of the water and back in.
Yep.
Like
I never heard the tail thing.
That is so cool, dude.
And grab it like that, and then the tail's coming out the back.
It's kind of hard.
It's tough.
To do
it's hard. To
you make it look easy.
Yeah, I have huge hands.
Especially holding
hands are enormous.
Holding
depends on the size of your hands.
Giant fish, bro. I mean, some of these char and dude.
Well, and then grayling are totally.
That's what I want to ask. Okay.
About to ask too, man.
Okay, so you do the picture with the grayling, and I see your one hand in it. I've caught grayling, but I just don't remember. Does that fin stand up on its own, or are you kind of pushing a little bit right there?
If they're pissed off, they'll stand up on their own. But we don't like squeeze or push or anything. Like if you catch a grayling really fast, like sometimes that fin will stand up by itself. But otherwise, it's like you set it in your hand, and the big thing with grayling is like the harder you squeeze, the more they're going to struggle, which is like a really hard thing to get through someone that's new to it.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get that through their head. Is like, stop squeezing it. Like just set it in your hand, and it'll just sit there. And like that's it.
Oh, you don't need to like sit there.
And I think that's what makes them honestly stick their fin up, is when they are relaxed. Because I've just noticed we always can just lift them up.
Yeah.
And their fins up.
And then you can pick if you want to pick their fin up, you can like set them in there, pick their fin up, make sure the head's going that way, so you can pull their fin up, and then you get the nice the thing.
Get some monster grayling.
There's some beautiful
up north.
grayling.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you ever eat them?
I've never eaten one.
My dad
Really?
has.
Yeah.
He said they were
I guess
good.
they're good.
They're delicious. Yeah.
Are they
Not
good?
those big ones are not good eaters. Would strongly recommend not eating those, but those like 14, 12, 14 is actually probably a good size, I guess, for a grilling. Just like those small, you got to catch a bunch and pretty much fry them almost whole.
Yeah.
But the meat, man, it's flaky and gets crispy. It's delicious.
I've heard you have to eat them pretty quick. Like if you try to freeze them,
Immediately.
they don't.
Oh yeah, no,
Like fresh,
immediately.
like right away.
Okay.
That's how I feel about trout too.
Yeah.
I think you just, if you're not smoking them, I think it's just you got to eat them before they ever freeze. It changes the
Yeah, like
meat texture.
Yeah.
makes it
Like I don't know if
mushy.
you ever eat lake trout.
Oh yeah.
You do. Yeah. Really?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
But we've taken a few, and they're good.
Yeah. I mean,
they're
I
really good.
I agree. I eat them. I've eaten them too. Never have we caught a 28 or 30 incher and kept it. That's an old fish. I
big,
imagine
yep.
that the meat's not good, and not to mention it's a breeder, and you don't want to do that. But you catch an 18 to 22 incher, or something like that, and throw them fresh on a fire grill that night,
Yeah.
and with like crackers and tartar sauce or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and I keep a lot. We keep fish. I mean, we eat a lot of fish.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I fly fish, and we'll keep fish. But I mean, lake
I'm
trout,
laughing because my mom, she's Colombian. She's
it all.
100% Colombian. And she was seeing all these pictures. Like, we would go fishing with my brother, and we're getting these trout. And she's like, oh. She was so mad when she found out that we were putting them back.
Yeah.
She was just pissed. She's like,
how
what?
could you?
Daniel,
That's exactly like
those are the best. Why didn't you bring it home? She was like so mad that I was like, well, you can't keep this. Like, it has to be about less than 18 or whatever on the Kenai.
All right.
And she was so mad that we were like putting them back. And so she's like, if I come with you, you're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was exactly like my mom
Yeah.
and my parents when they started seeing the fish we're catching. They're like, "What? Why didn't you keep that?" And I'm like, "Well, you're not even allowed to keep those. Also, they're not very good to keep." But they were so mad.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, the idea of not harvesting a fish just doesn't. It's like,
What a weird.
Yeah, she made me carry all the heads out from
Put
the
it on a
last
stringer
Russian
and you take
river
it
trip.
home,
I'm like,
right?
Mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mommy.
Yes, I think.
Are you gonna carry these heads out? Like, you gonna carry this? Like, there's 18 of them here. Like,
Yeah.
she's like
Do we
bagging
need
them
that
all
many
up.
heads?
We keep a lot of salmon, and we'll keep. I mean, if a lake trout's bleeding and it's legal, those are
okay.
the ones we'll take.
Oh,
but
okay.
I have a
Nice.
hard time keeping a lake trout.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I personally I feel wrong keeping something older than I am. I
Yeah.
mean, this fish might be 40, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
I don't need to kill that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
fine.
I will
It
say
is that
before
feeling, too.
before
Yeah.
we go to the break, I chuckled at your picture that you held the halibut the same way as you did a trout, dude. Like, that one stood out to me. I was like, oh, I've never ever seen anyone hold a halibut like that.
Yeah.
It's always like, with your finger like this, and you did it like the same way you would a trout.
That
'Cause it's
picture was very intentionally done that way.
Okay.
It looked it. It
Usually
looked it.
you'll hold them up under their gills and take a nice picture. Like, here's my fish. And then that one, I was like,
Did you release it?
That one didn't go back.
Yeah,
that one got eaten.
We'll be right back, guys. The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day, because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
It's a utensil used for vaporizing things.
I thought it was like a window crank for like opening a window. Oh, their window broke.
Yeah. Let's do this real quick. Thanks to the mayor of Eagle River. Shout out to the mayor real quick on this Anchorage Distillery ghost pepper vodka.
Like spicy. Yep. Clear the sinuses.
Ghost pepper, yeah.
It did.
What's your...
I was choking that down for a minute.
Do you have a favorite fish recipe?
Yeah. So I'll do like a lemon herb butter salmon. And it's got like rosemary, dill, thyme. So you take, you salt and pepper the salmon. Or you take a fillet, defrost it, whatever, salt, pepper, olive oil, and then you sear it on your on like a cast iron, and then you sear it on the top side, and you flip it skin side down to let it finish cooking, and then I'll take dill and lemon zest and lemon juice, and then butter, and then I'll put a little salt in there, and then throw that in the microwave and melt that down, and then I'll baste that salmon fillet with a basting brush and that mixture, and that, like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know why I decided to do that, but that has been like, that's been
the go-to.
Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah.
And
That makes me hungry.
I made it for a couple buddies, and they were like, "This is the best salmon I've ever had." I'm like, I don't know, but I've cooked. I worked in a kitchen for, I was like a line cook for a while in Michigan, and then so I've kind of, and my dad really likes to cook too, so I've always kind of had like a love for cooking. So I cook a ton, and I don't post anything. Like my Instagram's fish, like it's fish period, but there's
nothing but
it's not all, that's not everything. So,
you do eat?
Yeah, I do eat. Yeah, I sleep sometimes. Every once in a while, I work out sometimes. Do all that stuff. I do work.
Now, what about
popular belief?
I'll work when I have to.
Yeah.
Well, just thinking about like my favorite fish to eat is a white king salmon. Mm-hmm. That's been my ultimate favorite all time. What's your ultimate favorite? And I'm going to go around too. And also like I want to know ultimate favorite and also silver or red salmon, sockeye or coho. Is there a preference?
Sockeye. Yeah, definitely sockeye. As far as preference,
have you had a white king?
No, I haven't. Are they awesome?
Yeah.
White king.
White king salmon. So we go do winter king salmon fishing on the ocean, and every now and then you'll get a white one. The meat's all white, and for some reason I don't know what.
Is that just genetic or something?
It's a genetic thing, yeah. And we've been lucky. Like we've got lots of them. And normally now what we'll do is we won't even like cook it. We'll eat it at sushi. We'll like flash freeze it and make sushi out of it.
Sashimi.
But for me personally, I think that is the best piece of fish I've ever had.
Okay, so I know there's like some debate around like freezing saltwater fish. So you flash freeze it and then you'll make it into sushi or sashimi. What is the point of what's the point of freezing it first?
Like what's the reason? They say the reason is if there's any worms.
Okay.
And stuff in there. Gotcha. But even though like we've done like ceviche right out of the river, and we get a million fucking haters.
Wasn't there? Yeah, I was gonna say I heard.
Yeah, there's like it got a ton of views, like insane amount of views, and then the same amount of like people like you're gonna die, you're gonna suck. Good luck with the worms. Let us know how that goes.
Have you Googled those worms? Have you like looked at what
I have seen it. After the people were texting that or messaging that, I was like, let me just check this out.
Yeah.
And then
are they super dangerous?
No.
I mean, I'm here.
No, they're fine.
Yeah,
they just like attach to your intestines for a couple weeks and then they die.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
You lose a little weight. It's fine.
I mean, in some places, yeah. Like, obviously, I don't got one. I'm a little husky. I've been trying to find one, actually.
Trying to find the right worm to help me lose some weight.
What about you, B? Do you have a preference or a favorite, like, fish? I mean, even, like, is it halibut? Like, what's your number one?
Like Alaskan?
Yeah, Alaskan.
Fish? Yeah. Salmon, my preference is Chinook. Hands down. I love the oil content.
You're not allowed to fish for those
king
anymore.
salmon.
Yeah.
Well, I was just, I guess, lucky enough in the last, maybe prior to the last 5 years, the previous maybe decade and a half, I was, lucky enough to harvest kings on a regular basis and, smoke them and have them in jars. And I'd have like 2 trays in my pantry of reds and kings and then I'd have all the salmon. And it's like, no, that doesn't even, it's not even a possibility. I used to think it was halibut, but halibut's actually not my favorite. No. It's delicious. I really prefer the black rockfish and the yellow eye. Yeah, I do. They're oilier. Mm-hmm. They I don't know, it doesn't get so dry and flaky. It's just a little bit wetter and oilier. And I've found that a lot of people are just like black rockfish. You just catch a bunch of them or whatever, and it's always going after halibut and lings, and like lings are good too. They're really, really good. But I really like black rockfish and yellow eye. Yeah. And some people are like, "Hey, man, that's your favorite fish." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. If you really actually like cut a slab and just cook it in butter or like something very, very, very simple, and just taste the fish."
Yeah.
Well, that rockfish is like sweet. It's got like a sweetness to it.
Yes.
And like I remember opening packages of it, and I'm like, it almost smells like lobster. Like it's really sweet.
You got that right, man. And the way it flakes, like it just, I don't know, man. I've had the opportunity to eat a lot of seafood living in Alaska, and scallops and everything, and just I don't know, rockfish, dude. That's my favorite.
Good answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's really simple, kind of like blue collar poor man's type, like deep sea seafood, but it's actually better than people think.
It's over
because they think they need to get halibut.
Yeah, and it's cheaper, but I've always found it
halibut's bland.
Yep,
it's clean.
Yeah,
high protein. It is good fish. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, fucking halibut's trash.
Yeah,
hell no. Delicious fish, but it's bland compared to rockfish that's just got some like flavor and oil and just if you really know fish and what you're eating, you can tell the difference.
Yeah,
Gabby?
Cook halibut in butter and it tastes like butter.
Yeah,
correct. Correct.
It's delicious. It's good.
I mean, I'd say the best fish I ever had was fresh caught king salmon. Just cook it in some butter and was good. But weirdly enough, growing up, my family caught a lot of hooligan.
Nice.
Knew it.
And for
Nice.
some reason, my mom just fried it up.
Deep fried,
and
head
it was
and all.
one of my favorite. I mean, I loved salmon too.
Yeah.
But just to be weird is, I love
Good
fried
call,
hooligan.
man.
Yeah.
Good call.
Very underrated. I
Yeah.
love fried hooligan.
And I haven't
very
gone.
underrated.
Have you gone recently?
We go out once a year. at
Oh, you
least.
guys go?
Yep.
Okay,
You do
nice.
the Cook Inlet thing or somewhere else?
On the
Turning arm.
Turning
Yeah,
arm. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
meant. Yeah, turning arm. Yeah.
Yeah. Mateo's been wanting to go, and I've been trying to tell my dad to take him.
It's so
Yeah.
Because my dad loves to eat that. My
Yeah.
parents love that. I mean, I was just,
I
that was
wanna-
like
I
such
wanna
a.
do it.
We'd have, this is so Colombian. We'd have like hooligans and patacones. Like, it's like fried plantains. That was the meal. And you'd put the same salt on the plantain that you would on the thing with lemon, and you just,
we
just be like
grew
munching
up
on it.
doing it. It's so weird though. I remember growing up, we would go just kind of with salmon too. When we would go dip netting, it's just like the runs were insane.
Yeah.
And with hooligan too, we would go and it'd just be a whole net every single time. And now it's just not.
Yeah. Did you
it's
guys
not
go
the same.
clamming too?
We did too. Yeah.
Oh my God. I
missed
couldn't
that.
stand eating clams, but I love
I
clamming.
liked clams too, but that's not there anymore. But
No.
Not even really
Yeah,
an
that's that,
option.
yeah. I was that's so sad for the kids. Like clamming was such a big thing in our life. Like every
was
time there
fun.
was like a tide, it was like we're there. Like and every other ethnic
It's
person was
exciting.
down there. Like at Clam Gulch or the Nilchik
just
or
like with the hooligan, yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. That's where I learned like the 4-wheeler and like, you know, just the tides, and I flipped the thing in the went in the ocean one time, but we won't get into that. My dad was so mad.
You've taken lots of dips.
Hey man, you gotta learn. I like to learn the hard way.
Have you guys ever had smoked hooligan?
Yes.
Like a whole hooligan smoked, and then you eat it head to tail.
Yeah, I smoked a bunch of them, and I actually
you did
I
it?
pickled a bunch of them.
Oh, what, dude?
Yeah.
That was good.
Damn, you got any of that in the pantry?
Not anymore. My buddies took it off.
I was gonna say, dude, I would. Some people might call
I'd
me
love to
crazy.
try that.
I'd trade you some backstrap for some
Ooh,
pickled
that's a pretty
hooligan.
good trade,
Awesome.
man.
You guys had
That's-
pickled pike?
No, I actually had never had pike.
Ooh,
I've
you know
never
what?
had-
Pike is another very underrated
Agreed.
quality fish. Mm-hmm. Very good eating fish.
So I have a hard time deciding because if it's cooked right, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a hard time, but I agree with you on. I mean, I agree with the hooligan. I agree with the black or black rockfish. I guess black cod. Have you guys had black cod?
I
Oh,
have-
black cod's bomb.
Yes,
really
it's
good.
amazing.
Oh, it is good.
I've never had it.
Oh,
I really
man.
want to try it. I
You
really
get-
want to go fish for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You know, Pike's actually really good, man.
Pike is
I mean,
I love pike.
like we've gone as far as like having, you know, fresh caught and then on stringers in camp and they're alive and then pull it off the stringer, bleed it, clean the meat off, which pike are a bitch to clean. I don't know if you guys have ever cleaned pike, but oh my God, that Y bone,
Yep.
like getting that meat off. I have not figured it out yet, but my old boy Willie, he's our fish cleaner, man. Cause
Is he the one that put the TV up?
No, that was no.
Willie in it?
Willie and them? No. Donatello. But no, it's good. And then you know, you just throw it in a batter and fry it, I mean, directly from the lake right into the frying pan, you know, bled, and then eat it up. It's
Well, that's what we pickle.
Fish and
is
chips.
We'll cut that Y. You cut that Y bone out, and you end up with that that
Yeah.
strip on the back.
Yep.
And then we'll make a fish fry out of all the meat without bones in it, and
Yeah.
then we pickle that strip, the Y bone strip, because
Oh,
the
dude.
vinegar dissolves all those bones. So you go from an unedible piece of meat to having pickled pike, and you can eat that, and it's awesome.
you can peel it right out of the jar, and it's the bones are no longer a problem.
Yep.
Damn.
It's awesome.
So that's the thing about eating pike. It's a lot of work.
It
It's
is.
like you got to eat it and like get poked in the gums and like, oh, you know, it's kind of like you get done eating a plate of pike and your mouth kind of hurts.
Your gums are bleeding.
That's so good. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people just grab those things and throw them out in the brush behind them.
Well, down here you can't let them go, right?
Yeah,
That's
you're
what I'm
you have
saying.
to keep
You
an
know,
eye on it.
and
Yeah.
you really have to get a pretty like sizable fish to like harvest meat off of it. You know, a 20-inch pike isn't going to have
Oh, really?
really even an edible meat on
What about
it.
burbot? You guys had any burbot?
Mm-hmm.
I'd heard.
Burbot.
What do
Yeah.
they call that? The
Poor man.
Poor man's lobster.
I've never really bought into like the hype of it being this just like unbelievable delicacy meat part.
Fried fish.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bottom feeder. It's like catfishy type meat to me in a way. Like that's probably somebody's gonna hear us and be like, "This motherfucker talking about bourbon." Like I didn't. I mean, I'm not saying it tastes like mud. I'm just saying it's just like a lot of fish are like what they eat, right? You know,
well, everything is what it eats.
Right. But like you can tell the difference. Like I've had pike that are feeding on grayling, and I've had pike that are feeding on whatever the hell else, muskrats and shit that they're eating, and their meat is not as good.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? You pull a pike out that's got a grayling in its belly.
Yeah.
You pull one that's got a baby squirrel in it. It just doesn't taste the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like gamier or something.
If it's just hyped like halibut. You know, where everybody says it's really good.
The hype is real.
You kind of think it's going to be really good.
Every time I've had it, I'm like, that's pretty good. Yeah, but I'm not like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I never had a fish like this.
I think fried fish comes down to like the texture, and then like I don't know. Fried fish is
it's fried fish.
In tartar sauce. It tastes
like
fried
anything. Fried my shoe up and eat it.
Fantastic.
I mean, you can pull a piece of halibut out of the freezer and like, you know, saltwater soak it real quick, clean it, and then fry it, and it's like.
I think what you do with that is ceviche, like that old stuff. Like you can draw away that like nasty fish taste with enough spice and lemon.
Clean all the white meat off and feed it, put it in your dog bowl. I mean, that works too.
Marty gets the stock.
Marty's eating good. You saw that coat, dude.
Marty's coat is shining, baby. Shoo.
How old is that pup?
He's almost 7.
Oh, he's a full mature boy.
Yeah.
Mature.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
He's a wild man.
I want to switch gears a little bit and get into I was geeking out reading a bunch of your articles today.
Are we going Trout Unlimited?
Yeah, I want to go Trout Unlimited and the other one, Fly Lords Mag. Awesome name. The first article I read was the Brooks Range one. I'm infatuated with the Brooks Range. I love the Brooks Range. We've gone sheep hunting there. We plan to go caribou hunting next year. I've been up there 4 or 5 times. We're talking about the Kobuk and other rivers up there. Like I think that is the most epic place on earth. And so that was the first article I read. Excellent writing. But what got you like started into that? Was someone's like, oh, you're out there doing it, you should write about that? Or how did that start?
The writing thing started so I didn't do well in high school. I did very poorly in high school. Actually, I got terrible grades because I was fishing all the time.
Too busy out fishing,
I was fishing all the time. And then that transferred over to college, and I didn't do well. But the only class that I did well in college was a creative writing class. And that teacher was like, she was like 22. She was young. And, you know, we're all 18, and she like took a liking to me and like my writing style, and she was like, you need to change your major to writing to English. She's like, I didn't have like, I read through my notes after that class, and I was like, I wasn't even spelling words right. Like it was bad. Like but
the thought process was there though.
Yeah, and she really liked that my writing style and the stories that I was telling about my fishing trips growing up. And because that's all I wrote about was fishing. That's it. She would give me a prompt, and I would just totally go off crazy fishing something.
Yeah. Figure out a way to twist fishing into it.
Yeah, it wasn't even twisting fishing, and it was like this. You told me to write about.
It's like Gettysburg, and you're like, but you know, in Gettysburg they were eating fish.
Trout. Exactly. Like, but I went to Canada this one time, and we ate fish, and where am I going to write about that? And she's like, all right, I should fail you, but I like your writing. It's cool. It's entertaining, and that kind of stuck with me for a long time. So I didn't write for a long time. And then we went on this Dolly trip, and like...
Is that the Brooks Range trip?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the Brooks Range trip. And I was like, man, I think this is kind of where I want to write an article about this and submit it. So I took a long time. It takes me a long time to write. It takes me like weeks to write an article because I'll write it, and then I'll read it, and then like I'll sit down and I'll read it a week later and I'll hate it, and I'll rewrite the whole thing, and then I'll read it again, and then I'll hate the whole thing.
A lot of time, Oliver.
It takes a long time. It takes forever. I can't, like, it doesn't, it's never right. I'm never satisfied with the writing. So, but that article seemed to be like the one that I really wanted to submit. So I kicked it over to Fly Lords, and I was like, do you guys want this? And
you just went like to send it to
cold call. Everything I have, everything I've done with fishing is total cold call.
Wow.
Like everything.
Yeah.
There has not been a single company. I had one reach out to me recently, but everything I've done within the fishing thing has been total cold call. Everything like, do you guys? Can I like work with you guys? Like whatever. Yeah. So that's how that went. I just reached out to them, and they were like, "Yeah, we like it." And then I asked them if they wanted a lake trout article for fly fishing for lake trout, because I know that it's not like a popular thing. Yeah. Up here, it's a little more popular than like than it is in like the lower 48. But so I submitted that one to them, and after that, I was like, hey, it takes me a long time to write. I was like, is there any way I could like get paid a little bit to write these articles for you? They're like, yeah, sure. So from Fly Lords, it took off a little bit into like.
Was it flylords.com?
Yeah, Flylords Mag.
Okay, Flylords Mag.
Flylords Mag. If you just Google Flylords, it'll come up, and you can go through and read all their stuff. They have stuff coming out weekly. I mean, they do a ton of content.
Badass website.
Mm-hmm. It is really cool, and there's a lot of really good guys working with them, and it's really cool.
Artists and everything.
Yeah, they do everything in the fishing industry. It's awesome. Yeah, from there, that's kind of where the writing came from, and then I started to meet guys, and they knew art editors from different magazines. So the one from Swing the Fly, I wrote about swinging flies for grayling, and they picked up and he picked up an article that I wrote about swinging flies for grayling, and that's like a conservation minded thing, like because grayling are kind of dumb, so you can just go catch a million of them, but like go out there and swing a wet fly for them on a 2-handed rod, and it's really fun. You can catch less, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, the Trout Unlimited thing came about because I kind of I felt like I was taking a lot, and I don't know if I was actually taking a lot. I don't think I was actually taking a lot now that I think back about it, but I wanted to give back to the community, the fishing community in some way, however I could, and that president position in Fairbanks just happened to be open. Everyone up there that was involved was old, like very old, like 70 to
phasing out.
Yeah, 70 to 90 years old, and they were like, yeah, no one's doing anything with it, so if you want it, it's yours. I was like, I'll take it and try. So that's still it's tough doing that, especially with my limited time, and I'm very selfish with my time with fishing. I have to fish. Like,
well, they got to know that too, right?
They do. Yeah, they do. So, but
that's the content anyway.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the guys that come in with Trout Unlimited are guys that I have present for the chapter up there. I met on the river, so like met her around the lake or whatever. So a lot of those guys are like guys that I know, and like I know they'll do a good job. So and it's just kind of a way to give back. As much as I can.
Do they set some sort of expectation or parameters, like we need you to at least produce 2 articles a year or something like that, or is not that way?
It's quarterly for Fly Lords. I submit way more articles for them than quarterly, or with them quarterly. Whether or not they run them or not is a different story. So some of the stuff is a little on the opinionated side, and I get that. I fully.
Do they give you a word count?
Nope. Okay. I have free reign on Fly Lords for whatever I want, and they told me that. They're like, everyone else that works with them kind of has like a thing. So one of the guys that came up this summer does a lot of cooking stuff. So he'll do like, it's called Flavor on the Fly, and he'll write, he'll go catch fish and cook them, and then write an article about that, catching the fish and then cooking them, and that's really cool. For me, it's more of my whatever trips I'm doing or whatever I think I want to write about. Like, I just write about it and send it over to them, and then they'll push it out if they like it, or if they don't, they'll say like, we're not going to push this. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Now that stuff that obviously you took the time to write, and maybe they're not going to put it out on their platform. What do you do with that?
Generally, I won't do anything with it. I'll just, I'll submit it, and then that's it. Like, if it's there, it's
so if they don't accept it, it just doesn't get read.
It just doesn't get pushed out. Yeah.
We should put it on our website.
I mean, some of it's, yeah. I mean,
or you should start your own website.
Yeah. Well, the guy from Alaska Rod Company.
Yeah.
Made him put stuff on his blog. He's a good dude.
Yep. He's a good dude. I've been hearing a lot of really good things about him.
Matt Crow, man, he's awesome.
I've heard that.
Matt Crow?
I've heard that.
Yep. Matt Crow, man, he's great.
Yeah. We'll get him on. We'll get him on. I know he's fairly new and getting his thing going. But we see you out there.
He's doing it right, man.
We see you out there. We'll find you.
Well, what's the thought process in like creating topics? Like what? Because the cool thing about what you're doing in your writing, and I always applaud anybody that's willing to get out of that comfort zone, like I mentioned earlier, and get into that creative space, right? And that's different for so many people, right? It's art, maybe it's fly fishing, or, you know, this is obviously a creative space, a podcast, entertainment. When you're writing about a trip, a fish, an experience, like, how do you create your topics? Is it just all like, this is what I'm thinking about, boom, put on paper? You have a method to your madness as far as that goes?
Well, this is not the good right way to do it. Usually I get a lot
What's Oliver's way?
Oliver's way is to, while I'm driving,
Ollie and him.
I will listen to podcasts and then I'll think about writing and think about trips and I'll sit there because I'm driving. I mean, I pack my car on Thursday night and then on Friday when I go to work, I bring my
ready to rock.
Oh, I bring my dog to work. My dog's in my car at work.
Oh,
on Friday.
He knows when you're
I'm
packing.
out.
Yeah, he's already ready.
He's like, we're going. Like that's, you put my food in that bag, we're going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have my dog in my car on Friday. Like Friday after work, like I'm changing at gas stations while I'm pumping gas to get out of town. Like, so I'm driving a ton. Like, I put 90,000 miles on my truck in like 2 years. Like,
Yoda gang.
Like we're going. Like, you know, and so while I'm driving, I'll
you're just warming that motor up 90,000 miles.
No, I know. That Toyota, that thing will keep
Step
going.
up, man. I got a 200 on mine.
Talk to the boys down at Total Truck, man. Craig will get that thing all set up. You need a rooftop tent.
Yeah, you want them? She wants one of those things.
Yeah, those are sick.
I mean, you're talking about all those miles on the road. I mean, doing probably a lot of tent camping and pull-outs and stuff.
It's usually like this, just like whatever tent I could find for $100. Like $100 is the budget. This is
Gabby's
what we got.
like, you know,
Good to go. She's like, that's not okay.
You know what they can do?
Would like to be off the ground now?
No, they drill a hole from the tent all the way down to the ice. It goes through all the way.
Through your truck?
Yeah, 16-inch auger. 16 foot. That's the latest.
Oh, we hit the gas tank. No, whatever.
So it really just comes from that brainstorming time you have, and you're like, wait a minute, okay, I'm gonna write about that.
Yep, and I'll text, you know, write notes and stuff on my phone and like pull over.
While you're out on the trip.
Yeah, yep. Then I'll like. Sit
when
there
your mind is in that space, you want to capture that thought, right? Like,
yeah, I know a lot of guys will write notes while they're fishing, but I can't take my mind off.
That was going to be my next question: is if you actually are.
I can't.
No, you want you need to be. Well, a line has to be in the water in order to catch a fish, right?
Yep. Yeah, so, guys. Then that's the
can't have downtime.
That's the time with the filming. Is like I don't. If someone is there filming, fine, but I can't take my mind off of off of fishing long enough to film because the videos just don't look. They don't look right because I'm like not looking at the camera while I'm talking. I'm looking at my electronics.
Yeah,
like I'm looking. I'm not.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, I'm very just.
That's a skill to be able to do that. That's tough.
Yeah, it is tough, and like those guys
iron focus on like the task at hand, right?
Well, those guys that do the YouTube stuff, I mean, that's awesome. And it's so
the solo filming,
guys that can film shit. Awesome. I mean,
good for them. Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Yeah,
it's easy to mess up.
Yeah,
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I had a question about species that have like different names. Because you'll hear like, it's a trout, it's a char, it's a this, it's a that. It's the same thing. Yeah. Like what are, I feel stupid even asking because I've lived here my entire life and I've caught all these fish. But like, I'll post a picture and be like, what is that? I'm like, well, I'm not really sure. This could be a dolly or it could be a this? You know what I mean? Like, what are some of the basic? Is this, and it could be called that, depending on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, the question?
Yeah. Like a trout and a doll, like a char, like Arctic char and a dolly varden get confused a lot. So my understanding in talking to biologists is it generally speaking, I know there's a lot of there's exceptions to everything. I mean, but a dolly varden will generally be anadromous. So the dolly varden will run into the ocean and then eat and come back to spawn. And an Arctic char will generally be in like a freshwater lake, and then, you know, they'll move into rivers and do that. So generally a dolly varden will be anadromous, and like
that means going out to the ocean and coming back to freshwater.
Yep. Yeah. So like a salmon is anadromous. So they'll be born in freshwater and then go out, and a steelhead is anadromous. They'll be born in freshwater and go out and come back. And
hold on a second. Can you spell adromus?
Adromus. A-D-R-I.
Anadromous.
Anadromous?
Can we get it in a sentence?
Anadromous.
The fish was anadromous. Was that the biggest cop out ever?
Yeah.
The spelling bee's coming up, y'all. Come on, I gotta get my
eyes just went crossed and my brain locked. So
I feel like how you say it.
Anadromous.
Well, it depends where you're from.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ooh.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. We went off topic there.
Is it EHN?
Anadromous. You spelled it right in your article. I checked.
Yeah.
Or someone checked it.
Andromous. That
okay.
Makes sense.
Got it. And the definition is an animal that can go from freshwater to saltwater and returns to the freshwater.
Migrating up rivers from sea to spawn.
Boom.
I think there's a flip side, catadromous, and it's a fish that is born in the ocean, comes into freshwater to live, and then goes back out and spawns.
What is that? Like a skate?
There's like an eel that does that.
Oh, like in New Zealand or something?
Something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
Not
that. Did I say skate?
A skate, right? Yeah. Like a.
Got so mad we got one. We thought it was a king on the anchor. It's a stupid skate.
What? On the anchor, you got a skate?
Yeah.
In the anchor?
Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't a
Are you like the first person ever to do that, or is that like a thing?
No, we've got it multiple times. Yeah,
isn't
that what it is? Like a little looking how?
It's a flounder.
Yeah.
They
a
look
flounder.
Like,
No, that's different.
no, don't they look like a stingray?
Yeah, a skate is a stingray.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no, okay.
No. You caught a flounder.
No, I said adrominus. I mean Catrometus.
Yeah.
Megatron.
That'd be cool. You caught a skate.
Well, we called it a skate. It looked like a little halibut.
It's a flounder. It's had the little razor sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're in brackish water. You know, you catch them in like, the Kenai can see.
Yeah, on the anchor, like when you're trying to get them and they're up there.
Did you eat it?
No.
Oh.
I heard they can be good eating, but
it was a little guy.
Well, they're never really big. They're only like the size of maybe like a 12-inch skillet.
I'd eat it.
I would too if it was prepared for me. I mean, I just wondered how you cook it because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of meat on it.
Yeah.
If you cleaned it like a halibut, you would get like these little tiny...
Just little wafer. You make like little chips or something.
Fries them.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Did you ever see her actually like clean it and field it?
I did. You would get them dip netting. They would just net. My parents would always take them because people always throw them back.
Oh, they put them. Yeah,
definitely.
I think people aren't throwing them back.
Well, it's on the report.
What?
When you report your catch, you can put flounders on there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
17 reds and 5 flounders.
Yeah.
What skate? So skate is like more like a
stingray.
Stingray.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get
They got
that.
them weird ass. They got that weird fucking like arm things.
Yeah.
And the smile.
Yeah.
Like, they're
maybe
weird.
you did get that.
They got like the pointy nose on them too.
Yeah.
There's
Fight like
never
crazy,
ever.
though,
Of
man.
I think we did go because we
edible.
thought it was a fucking king, dude. It was fighting like insane, dude, and it was like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, could you?
I mean, is that possible?
I'm no.
We're at the mouth.
biologist, but
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, with the
It's
mouth.
brackish,
the mouth.
brackish water.
Have you ever seen the seals come up?
Oh
down
yeah.
those- Oh, he
yeah.
smokes, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know where I
Yeah,
saw?
cool,
when the tide
but,
comes
like,
up and they're all in there. Yeah.
You know where I've seen seals before?
Where?
In the Deshka, dude.
Really?
That's a long way up, man.
Didn't a whale made it up into the Chena?
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what kind of whale it was, but there's articles on it.
Damn.
Yeah, like a whale made it all the way up in the Chena River in Fairbanks. That's insane.
That is way in there.
Yeah. Just chasing the grayling?
I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. I'm a whale. Whatever they do.
They do like this.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So we got way off topic, which we love to do here.
Yeah.
So
a lot of rabbit hole.
char and Arctic char and dolly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They get confused, and a lot of guys up on the North Slope or up on like the Slope rivers think that they're those dollies that come in. They think that they're Arctic char, but generally speaking, they're Arctic char.
But you're not wrong either way.
Well,
do you hashtag both just in case?
All of them, everything.
You can call them both a char.
There are char.
But
so a lake trout is a char, a dolly is a char, an Arctic char is a char, brook trout's a char, bull trout's a char.
Okay, so you can't go wrong. Hashtag char.
Yeah, hashtag char. Hashtag I love char.
I saw that. Is that
char.
a thing? I didn't know that.
I don't think it's a thing. I just wrote it on there.
Okay, all right. I was gonna start using it. We're gonna make it a thing.
Yeah, a lot of my hashtags.
We're gonna make a shirt. I love char.
I did like
char
hashtag.
life.
Yeah, char.
I love char. It's gonna show all the different fish.
Yeah,
all of them.
I did one like hashtag moist life. It doesn't mean anything, but I thought it was
means
funny.
Something.
Because something was, it means something. Yeah. That's not what I was thinking.
That's like my wife's unfavorite.
Unfavorite.
Yeah, she's like, don't say moist.
She does not like that word.
And then my kids are like, moist. The cake is moist. This is moist. This rice is so moist. The other one. Let's get back on topic. Another shot. Steelhead are often confused with what?
I guess. Well, yeah. So
Lake trout.
Depends on who you talk
Rainbow
to.
trout.
Rainbow trout, right?
Yeah, they are a rainbow trout.
Okay.
So steelhead is an anadromous version of a rainbow trout, and they're like biology is the same.
So that's the only difference, really, because they're anadromous.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell the difference between like a hen, like coho, and a steelhead. Like, it's really hard. If you get like my son got one. It's tough.
My son got one, and on the Russian River, and I was like, whoa, you got a steel. I was like, is there even steelhead up here? And I asked like everyone. I should show you the picture too, and there was a lot of like debate on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do steelhead go up in there?
They get up there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
right?
They get up there. Yeah, I mean, don't show the picture to me. I'll look like I don't know what I'm talking about.
I just hashtag both.
I feel like you might know more than us.
Oh, holy smoke. But we caught one on the...
Isn't it the spots or something?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not
the TV.
conclusive. It's not like a all-encompassing thing. There's general... if a biologist looked at it, they could most likely say either way. But, we caught one on the middle of Kenai, and I couldn't tell.
Okay. So it could have been.
It can be tough, yeah. It can be really tough. And so those two I get mixed, I can get mixed up, but especially because they're coming into the river at the same time and they'll hang out in the same area. So it's kind of tough to tell sometimes. And someone listening to this podcast is probably like, you dump me, you can't.
No, they'll comment.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send you I will forward it to you.
I want to read them. I'll laugh and like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like steelhead, like diehard steelhead fishermen are like similar like diehard sheep hunters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're like
it is.
Yeah. They know every fucking thing there is to know about the this, that, and the other with the ram horn
that was a very
rings,
good comparison.
and then there's like, oh, you don't know shit about steelhead, and they got every opinion, and it's like.
But listen, you will go ask the biologist, and they'll do the same flip flop thing. They'll bring all the other biologists in and be like, "This is not 10 years old. This is 9. This is not a steelhead. This is that."
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. You have
so there's no like
strong
definite
opinions of like, the guys that think they know for sure.
Yep.
But then there's a guy right next to him with just the same amount of knowledge and experience and intelligence on it. That can be like, well, nope, because this. It's like, I don't know.
It's hard to tell sometimes. I mean, I am a very
my son's gonna be so happy. I'm gonna go home. You did get that steelhead.
Yeah.
Is there another one? Or is that the main two?
I had a question, maybe in like actually catching the fish, can you tell the difference between I caught a rainbow trout?
Oh, in the
and
fight?
I caught a steelhead.
On the fight?
And then you can be like, oh, I'm like, that's a steely. Like, you can just know by the way it's tugging and fighting, and like, can you... Because dude, like, they all fight different, right?
Yeah.
A dolly, a char, a rainbow, like, there's...
I will say the grayling give up quick, huh?
Yeah, they're not huge. So
yeah, there's like...
They're full of piss and vinegar right away,
They got the big fins, and they get kind of work those angles.
If you're
with the
working
big
really
fin.
light gear and you catch some nice sized ones, I mean, there's... I've had
But I'm talking about like the length of the fight. You know what I mean? Because even within salmon, like you catch a red, you catch a silver. There's a difference there, a king, you know, in the fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the only time that you would ever really classify, I guess you'd ever be able to put like a steelhead and a rainbow trout in like the same basket would be like on the Kenai. So like if you pull on, if you catch a 30-inch rainbow, like a resident rainbow, that's a rainbow trout. Like, they fight harder than the steelhead on the Kenai
with their power, and
because they're so tall. The girth is just huge. I mean, like the pictures of those big rainbows are crazy.
Tell me more.
Yeah. They get the girth and then the length.
You
get all of it.
Tall,
the girth
huh?
and the
I've
length.
never heard a guy say a fish was tall.
Yeah,
I never heard that either.
They get the height.
Yeah. Okay,
But
that
you
makes
can,
sense.
but that powerful tug and the action and kind of which it fights, you can tell the difference.
Yeah, the rainbows will take off like a bullet. You hook
spool.
those big ones. Yeah, those big ones. And then the steelhead are usually they're longer. They can't get the leverage within in the current and everything. So they fight hard, but it's not the same. So a lot of guys prefer those big rainbows than over steelhead.
Yeah.
But I prefer steelhead because they're fun and they're steelhead. So
And they're smart, right?
yeah, they can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I like
have
the
to
dumb ones,
be at least 40 years old to spay fish?
No.
What is spay fishing exactly?
Like a two-handed fly rod, so you have a bottom handle on there.
I just
have to
feel
wear-
like there's
Oh,
level
I
to this
see.
game, and spay fishing is like cheap hunter thing.
You have to wear tweed though.
You have to Filson something. You got it. You have to.
Oh, you gotta wear the hat.
Like my brother busted out this thing. I was like, "You're one of those guys now, dude. It's like this is what it is. You're a spay guy now." And he couldn't
He's
even.
not even 40 yet.
I know, man. I was like, "You're not even 40."
Those are fun though. I love.
I'm highly intrigued with that. I don't know why. It just sounds cool.
Would that maybe be more of like in the comparable class of like compound versus
100%.
I think so.
a trad bow? Like, I mean, trad bow's pretty extreme. Like, you gotta basically like arrow animals very, very close.
I think
versus, compound can almost be
I
like
think that it
rifle
would
distance,
kind of be
but-
like fly fishing as like the bow hunting so like rifle hunting would be like comparable to like using like spinning gear, and then
Okay.
like bow hunting would be like fly fishing, and then like trad bow hunting would be like spay fishing and swinging flies.
Yeah.
So like it's like a very traditional.
It looks
That's
so
not-
cool,
that's
man. It
something
looks
else.
so cool. You do it? You're spay fishing?
She does.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, she's great.
And
at
then
it.
he's like, my brother was like showing me the line. It's just like, man, he was just like whipping that thing way out there. I was like, man.
If you get good at that,
I mean-
Yeah.
bomb like throwing like 150
It's
foot
just,
cast.
I think it's just easier than having to like.
Especially if I
Is
guess
it less
the point
flailing?
of it is there's a couple points talking to some older dudes. Obviously, if you're up and there's some sort of ledge or brush behind you, but then also older dudes that have like shoulder problems, like that's their way to continue.
That's not why I picked it up. I picked it up because I thought it was cool, but I had started to get tendonitis in my elbow from fly fishing like a lot. So that towards the end of the season is when you really start swinging flies with like, and you can like, you want to use a two-handed rod. So like Kenai and like some of the smaller rivers, you'll do like single hand space stuff. So you'll run a Skagit head on like a single hand rod, like a regular 9-foot fly rod. You can run like a Skagit
What does
head.
that mean?
So it's like if you look at a fly line, there's not like the fly line has different tapers to it and different thicknesses. So the front of the fly line is heavy and it's like thicker, and it's heavier than like the back half of the fly
But
line.
not weighted, just thicker.
It's thicker, and it's a little bit heavier.
Okay.
So So that's like the head of your fly line. So a scadget head is basically taking that and compressing it into something that's like 30 feet long.
Okay.
And then you'll take that and then the back half of the regular fly line is like thinner line, and you'll like take that to the extreme and make it even smaller, so that it'll basically, I just run mono, like heavy mono, like 60-pound mono.
Okay.
On my spay reel, and that's your running line or shooting line, and
Okay.
then you'll have your head, which is like a Scandi head, which is a longer version than your Skagit head is a shorter version, but it's heavier. And so you're basically working with that short head, and then it's almost like glorified, like a roll cast. So it's like a glorified
I feel like
roll cast.
It's basically like using a spay rod setup on a normal rod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That's what
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He gets very.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I like the technical
Wait,
stuff.
I need
do.
it. I need it dumbed down, but his explanation
They get
is
like very crazy.
Because I don't understand it. So
Yeah.
I know
You know what I
he
think we should do,
means.
which I think would be a good idea? I want to go with you to the store and you walk me through, and we'll video that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that'd be
hey, this is
sick.
what you should buy for this, and be like, boom, 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 the setup, and then put that out on
Yeah.
your new YouTube video, your YouTube channel. It's
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Ollie A.
Coming out soon.
Coming out
To
soon.
Yeah.
I like that.
To a Blockbuster near you.
yeah. Video City on Muldoon.
They are still there.
Are
still
they?
there, man.
Yes.
Wow.
So, Lincoln.
Selling blankets, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
For a
serious.
state that doesn't have beaches.
I've said it before. My son is addicted. I mean, I see you like him, where like he's already decided this is the life he wants to do, and I'm 100% in to help him whatever way it is. And this leads into the time of year that I like and dislike the most, which is called Science Experiment Month. That's coming up at the schools. And I enjoy it a lot because it's always something to do with fishing. So last year we did like, what's the best bait to use in the Anchorage Lakes? And he did this whole thing. And this year he wants to make his own lures, his own tie flying, stuff like that. And I know that looking at your page, you do a lot of your own tie flying. You do a lot of your own
Fly
stuff.
tying?
Fly tying, tie flying. What did I say? Tie flying?
I see that all the
Same
time.
thing. Come on, man. I'm bilingual. Lolo, help me. So what are some like beginner, like some things that, because I want to kind of buy him the stuff that he needs in order for him to start creating his own flies. Do you paint beads and do all that too?
No, I don't. I don't fish beads.
Okay, you
Hardly
don't.
ever.
Okay, you're all flies.
Very rarely will I fish a bead.
Okay.
I did, but
I saw a picture, don't I?
sometimes I'll fish beads.
Nothing else
Yeah,
is working.
I'll fish beads.
Oh, okay,
Don't get me
okay.
wrong. Like
The last
I'm not,
resort.
I'm not against it, but like, yeah, I would. I don't know. Anyways, I would like you can buy the kits when it's got the vices and the tool. It's
okay.
got a vice and like all the tools, and then you can have all your materials, and then they usually come with like a book of like basic like patterns to use. And,
Okay.
that's like a great starter thing. That's what I first got when I was like 7 or something. I got like this kit. And I don't remember who made it, but you know, you can get like these kits and they kind of have everything to get someone started in that.
Okay,
that thing.
so that's out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I was thinking about like hitting people up, and then if someone's listening right now and you're willing to help out on the science experiment, like someone that kind of already knows, because I don't want to be like too rookie. I guess that there's some benefit to being two rookies trying to figure it out, but I'd like someone in there to be like, hey,
start from
you want
scratch.
to do this, or like,
Yeah.
I mean, just simple things like you should put it down instead of up. You know, in the vice, little tips and tricks like that to fly your own thing.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
tie your own thing.
God, jeez, what did I say?
You're bilingual.
Fly. But
Yeah.
it's all good.
It's okay. Are you making fun of me?
I'm just making sure.
ANDROUM. It's joking.
You're almost there. You only need 3 more letters.
What about activities that you guys do, or you do, and obviously together with Gabby, other than fishing? Or is that just like the main thing? Are you guys skiing? Are you got plans to hunt? Is there something else that you are want to get involved in, or if it's just like super dial focused?
She'll take me hiking. She'll take me hiking.
I'll make him go hiking.
You do a lot of hiking.
Yeah, she does some awesome hikes.
We want to do hunting eventually.
Mm-hmm. I'm working. I got a bow, and I love shooting it, but I can't get off the fishing thing. I can't do it.
So if it's like, hey, I could go fishing or I can go hunting, you're going to go fishing every day.
And every time I'm hunting, I'm like, I should be steelhead fishing.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel like there's a lot of combo there.
There is. And like, I've just been way diehard into fishing forever. But like the hunting thing, like being able to just eat everything, eat only what we have killed is like a goal. You know, it's like a short-term goal, like I guess a mid-range goal. You know, I want to make it to a point where I can make a living in the fishing industry and with fishing the way that I want to do it. And that's tough, the way that I want to do it. Nobody's going to pay you to fish and not do anything else. So that's tough to do. But the hunting thing and like, you know, getting out and doing that is something that I'm very interested in, and like I'm working towards it. It's just slow going. But I'm definitely working towards it. I think we're going to go try to poke a caribou this next weekend.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I've never been on a successful big game hunt, so that's always been kind of like.
Well, I have a trade for you.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to recommend, don't take your ice auger on the caribou hunt.
Okay.
And then you won't be tempted to fish.
Yeah.
So if the ice auger just stays at home and you just put the rifle in the truck.
I disagree. I say you go out there with the auger, and if you come across a caribou,
poke it.
get them too.
Yeah, well, you could do that. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're just if you're trying to like, hey, I can fish and I fish and I fish, but this weekend I'm going to hunt.
Yeah.
Just hunt.
We're going to fish the night before and then stay up all night and then go caribou.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're just not going to sleep for like 48 hours.
Man.
And that's
Everybody
like
got to ease into it, man. If it's
take it to the max, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Well, and what's really cool too about, you know, some of the hunting opportunities that are out there for you, they're in areas where you can fish while you're hunting.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the interior, and we talked about the Kuskokwim and Kobuk earlier, and some of those rivers. I mean, a lot of times you're out there floating for caribou, and while you're floating and just killing time, you're catching grayling, and you know, so you can do both. Mm-hmm. You know, with the mindset or the mission at hand is to harvest some meat, but you can fish too. So keep that in mind. You know,
it'll be a great article.
Interesting.
It's like, is it the
Gabby likes it.
Get a little cast and blast.
Like I'll hike it out. I'll help.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. There you go, Gabby.
Yeah. Last question for me. Is there a bucket list that you have as far as like species you want to get, maybe like some rivers or lakes that you want to hit in Alaska that you're willing to share? That's like, I've always wanted, like me, the Kobuk's been on my list for a long time. Mm-hmm. Is there something that maybe you haven't hit yet that you want to do, or a specific species that you want to get that you haven't got to yet, or maybe you want to get a second one or something like that?
We've been chopping them down pretty good so far. The Kobuk is one that I want to catch, even though we've caught sheefish. I want to go up there and catch some of the bigger sheefish, and that's like really high on the list. Like I said, I have like this insane addiction for steelhead, so doing like more southeast stuff and like the farther out stuff, getting way out there, and I've been making some connections down there, and they're like, you know, it's that seems like it should be happening in the next while, but there's nothing, you know, everything that we do, all the bucket list trips that I've knocked off so far, like it seems like once I knock something down, 10 more come up that I want to go do. So it's hard to pick.
Or you meet somebody that's like, what about this spot?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So I don't really have like we go into our summer. We go into basically, you know, we start planning now and start booking trips now for next summer. So we're, you know, 10 months out, like from the next, you know, from trips and stuff. So everything's like, my schedule's constantly moving, and what we're doing is constantly moving. So I don't really have like a specific thing. The Kobuk is the big one this year.
Yeah.
This is like that's happening. There's no like
the plan is for that.
We'll walk there if we have to walk there. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, so that's the big one this coming year.
Okay.
So.
Like it.
Yeah, that sounds like a really fun trip. I found sheefish on a Fish Alaska magazine, I don't know, like 15 years ago. I'm like, I remember seeing photos of them, but didn't really know. Kind of like a fish that's not really promoted a lot in Alaska, and I'm not here to blast it, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's just not an accessible fishery, so it's not going to be one of those things where you're going to be shoulder to shoulder with people.
Yep.
Because of the access and the remote nature of where the fish are.
Yep.
But that was one of the things that I was most excited about for Alaskan fishing. I mean, sheefish are really, really cool fish. I didn't realize that, like, they get to 50 pounds. And I'm like, man, there's like not a lot of freshwater fish that you can catch that size outside of a king salmon.
Yeah.
They get huge, man.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's some really great locations and spots. And the way that the predatory nature of the fish, the way they attack flies and gear and very aggressive, they sound like one of the most, amazing, fun sport fish to target.
Yeah.
And I think it's the younger males, like those, like, what is it, like 12 to like 18 pounders are really the ones that are the like ideal fish to catch as far as fight quality, and maybe you catch more of those, and maybe like the big. I think the bigger fish are hens, right? They're going to be females. Yeah. Most of the bigger ones that get over like a certain poundage or weight are females, but
I think so.
Well, did you see the video I posted? My brother sent, his boys were out. And
they're ice fishing.
And they're ice fishing those huge she-fish.
Yeah.
Huge ones.
Yeah. Up in
Kotzebue, that's where they were.
The brackish water.
Yeah.
It's actually a very heavily harvested resource for fish to eat.
It's tasty.
For
I've never
the
eaten
locals.
I guess it's really, really tasty. It's just it's a whitefish.
Yep.
Like
it
is a species of whitefish.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest
It's
species
good eating.
of whitefish.
Yeah.
Have you eaten one?
Yeah, I ran into a guy at the airport, and he gave me about 10 pounds of it.
That's awesome.
Yep, and we grilled it and fried it and tried it different ways, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was right up there with, that whitefish, flaky, delicious, rich, flavor. I really enjoyed it, but I've never put a hook in one and caught one, but that would be a bucket list for me too, man. I hope you get some good content.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah, we'll take a lot of pictures at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get a whole video of the whole thing, but probably.
Yeah, dude, that's badass.
Are you open to any of our listeners hitting you up on some questions on their setups and stuff like that, or some ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
Anything I like, love helping people out, and any questions you have about Alaska. I mean, if you don't, I just don't ask me about specific spots.
Yeah, of course not.
But,
Where was this picture taken?
Yeah, I want this fish. Where were you?
But if you have questions on spots or generalized stuff, absolutely. I love talking to people and helping people out. Yeah,
Great.
Absolutely. So,
well, we appreciate you guys coming on. Gabby, Oliver, all the knowledge you have that you learned over a lifetime of fishing. I think our audience will really enjoy that. If you guys haven't checked out the page, once again, it's at Ollie, AOLLEYEH. In my personal opinion, I said it already, I think that it is the #1 fishing page in Alaska. And I do a lot of Instagram, and so I think it's really good. It's really good. So thank you for what you've done. Thank you for sharing the information that you shared with us. Congratulations on the writing that you're doing, and hopefully that more things come from that. I appreciate you guys' time. Anyone that's listening, feel free to hit us up, and we can relay the message to Oliver. And thank you for coming on and sharing all your wealth of knowledge with us.
thanks. Yeah, thanks for having
time.
us. It was awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your vodka and your
Always.
double shovels here.
Yeah,
It was
man.
awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, Alaska. We appreciate you, and stay wild.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce cards, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th, handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.